All right, y'all, we can praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach today. We pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures for and there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my name, you receive me not. Of another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. But there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All praises be to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's go around here straight to Revelation chapter 2. Yeah, just step on it. We got to get one of them things to put around the barrier. There's a lot of ants over here. There's a big old ant bed in the front yard. I'll get that for you. I don't know who that is. That must be Lee Glover. I'm tripping, man. What was that, man? Revelation 2 and 7. It was Lee Glover. He have an ear, let him hear what the Ruach say unto the synagogues. To him that overcome will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of Elohim. So, with that being said, we stopped at Deuteronomy 20 and 19, so let's go back around now. So long, Brother Ellis. Huh?
We're going over 24 and 19.
I'll do it now.
Okay.
Nah, ain't nothing happened to you too, my G. That junk still, the junk on there, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Leviticus 24 and 19, y'all. Oh, yeah, that ain't going to be in line. This talking about if a man causes a blemish in his neighbor. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, you mentioned that Wednesday. That's all I asked him.
I think somebody put it up there. I think it was in terms to the tree of life, but yeah, that ain't gonna go along with it.
Okay.
That's dealing with, that's talking about the I for I-242.
What was the one you told us to read? It was Deuteronomy 20.
Yeah.
Oh, 20.
Oh, Deuteronomy 20. Okay.
That's where we stopped at. Deuteronomy 20 and 19. And when you shall besiege a city a long time and making war against it to take it, you shall not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them. For you may eat of them, and you shall not cut them down. For the tree of the field is man's to employ in the siege. Only the trees which you know that they be not trees for meat, you shall destroy and cut them down. And you shall be bulwarks against you, against the city that make war with you until it be subdued. Oh, shoot, ain't never no telling, my G. When it comes to that, Drew, ain't never no telling, man. So let me show you. Let's look at employ in the Deuteronomy 20 and 19. He said you need to employ them in the siege. When you look at that, I think I mentioned the siege the other day, but we'll look at it here because you have Masor Penem on that backside. When you have Masor Penem, that's a siege, an enclosure, an entrenchment, or the face of an enclosure. That's, of course, y'all should know what Penem is. That's the face of the enclosure. But when you have employed, you have bow. And when you have that, that is to go in, to enter in, to come, to fall or attack upon an enemy, to bring in, to be introduced. So the tree of the field is to be introduced when a man is in the face of an entrenchment. You should not cut them down. Now, we talked about it, right? He say the tree of the field is for man. See that man's life and all that stuff there? That ain't there. We went back Wednesday. We were talking about the trees in the field. You saw those. And of course, remember, it's man's life is just for Adam, for Adam. Get the lights up for me, please, if you would. So we know what tree was for Adam by name in the law. What tree do you know was for Adam? It looked like that didn't set well with y'all.
The tree of life.
We also know from verse 20, what does it say? That the trees that you know that not be for meat. Let's take a look at something in Ezekiel 47. And 12, I want to say. No, not 47 and 12. Pick it up at verse 1. Go sit down somewhere.
You said 47, 12, what?
47 and 1. Ezekiel 47 and 1. 12 is the conclusion. We'll take it off from the jump street. Ezekiel 47 and 1. He said, he brought me again unto the door of the house, and behold, waters issued out from under the threshold of the house eastward for the forefront of the house, the east, and the waters came down from under the right side of the house at the south of the altar. I need to see who remembers what. What does Ezekiel 47 and 1 point to? You need your glasses, babe? You put your glasses on. What is Ezekiel 4? Where's the other witness with Ezekiel 47 and 1? Who knows the other witness? Make haste. No. This is literally talking about water. You always have to remember Ezekiel chapter 40 through 48 is a mix of the kingdom of Mashiach and the kingdom of heaven. And when you get past, and you get about Ezekiel, when you get Ezekiel 47 and 48, this is the kingdom of heaven.
Is it Joel?
No, there's an actual, that's not Joel. You looking at waters of milk and honey. That ain't it. Somebody need to come up with something. Oh, it ain't John 19:34. You said the same thing she said. You thinking about y'all thinking about it too deeply. We're not going into similitudes.
What's the question again?
What verse is another witness for Ezekiel 47 and 1?
Let me find the verse. I think it got something to do with Noah.
Oh, no. It ain't know what that means.
I know the water represents people as well.
Yeah, they do. But in this one here, this is literal waters issuing out of the house. Let me show you.
I don't know.
Zechariah chapter 14, if you would. I see y'all. It's all right. It's just it wasn't coming to mind. It is what it is. 14 and 9, if you would. And Yahuwah shall be Malik over all the earth, and that day there shall be one Yahuwah, in his name one. Pause. How is that able? How would you explain that? When people say, well, ain't no God beside him. See, let me show you something. I'll show you what I'm trying to do for you. Now, y'all see this here? You see what you're seeing is in Zechariah 14 and 9? So I'm going to give you something extra. And Yahuwah shall be Malik over all the earth, and in that day there shall be one Yahuwah, in his name one. Deuteronomy 6 and 4, if you would. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah our Elohim is one Yahuwah, and you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. Now I need you to do something for me, Civic. I need you to move with haste. I need you to look up 1 in Deuteronomy 6 and 4. I need you to look up 1 in Zechariah 14 and 9 and share your findings. Are you trying to escape, sir?
What is Ahad?
Akkad. That's what you got. What is that?
1.
1. And I knew that's what it was. I just wanted you to look it up for yourself. What's up, cuz? You got my money?
Same thing in Zechariah.
Indeed. So, and what is the definition of Akkad? What do you see there, sir? Besides just 1.
Each and every Only, once for all. First, one, another, one.
The one. Now, it says, come back to Zechariah 14, right? See, I'm trying to make sure that you're on top of your game. I want you to go back. I want you to look at verse 6, right? In Zechariah 14. And it shall come to pass in that day, the light shall not be clear, dark, but it shall be in one day which shall be known to Yahuwah, not day nor night. And it shall come to pass at evening time, it shall be light. Now, y'all know what verse that is, right? What is it?
I know what you're talking about. What is that?
Oh, you got to give me the exact verse. Come on, Glory. No.
Revelation.
No. What you got for me, sir?
It got something to do with you who should come back in the middle of the night, tabernacle on the 7th month.
I'll allow it. Boy, you look just like your brother, boy. You know it too, don't you? Yeah, I know it. Come over here to Matthew 24 and 36. I know it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You ain't picking up what I'm putting down. You know what I'm talking about? Is it 36? I don't think it's 36. Hold on. Oh, that's I'm in the wrong chapter. That's why. Yeah, Matthew, you can back it up to 34, though. Matthew 24 and 34. Truly I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all things be fulfilled. Shamahim and the rat shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of the day and hour, no. See, the man ain't there. It just says no. Kind of sounds kind of crazy, but it's knoweth no, because we're not old English. So I'm thinking if you walk around here and say knoweth, you say that when ain't nobody in the house, don't you? No, not the Malachim or Shamahim, but my Abba only. So that's Zechariah 14, but it described that as Yahuwah doing this here. But he just said that was referring to him. Now, why did I mention all of that? Because it says in this Zechariah 14 and 9 that Yahuwah shall be king over all the earth, and in that day there shall be one Yahuwah and his name one. How would you explain this to an individual who says this has nothing to do with Yahushua HaMashiach? How would you explain it? How would you be able to ascertain that if the Father and the Son are two separate entities, how can it be one Yahuwah and his name one? How you gonna explain it? Oh, she mentioned 1 Kings 18. I'm gonna tell you right now, that ain't gonna show it. I'll go read it though. 18 and 21. Because this here you're gonna have to be a little bit more intricate. Go ahead, Glory.
Does that have anything to do with when he's saying, when he's talking about he had a book and the person next to him, the only person he's gonna wear is an open book?
Oh no. Now she mentioned in here with Elijah when he went against the prophets of Baal. You know what I'm saying? And that's not going to prove what we're trying to prove. Because see, if you run it up on somebody who say they don't believe in Yahushua, it's only one Yahuwah, he ain't giving his theme to another. See, Yahuwah going to be king over all the earth, and his name going to be one, and that's it. But how does that explain? See, this is what you got to get caught up on, where y'all got to stop doing. One verse doesn't prove, doesn't give understanding. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about giving understanding. I told y'all that a while back. It's not about answering a question. It's about getting or giving understanding. And you can never give understanding with just one passage. So you can't just go fishing for one passage. You have to sit back and look at and string in your mind. I don't care about if you know the exact locations. You know what I'm talking about? What I'm talking about is, can you string together understanding to where that is plain to the hearer? You understand what I'm trying to say? See, now he mentioned John 10 and 30. Let's take a look at it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I answered this on Wednesday, but I know y'all not gonna remember. See, now he read in John 10 and 30, which I already know what it said. I and my Father are one. But how are you going to prove this? How is he and his Father one? Now, there is a precept in the law about it, with a father and son being one. Who can tell me that? Oh, Lord. There is a precept in the law with a father and son being one. Who can tell me that? No, see that R, we already went over that. See, you looking at it in English, R, the plural, that ain't even there in Hebrew. That plural aspect ain't even there. Elohim is plural, but when you see that in English, because I just heard some dudes was on Clubhouse talking about that, but I didn't interject. Dude, we were working, I couldn't really hear. He wanted me to conversate with him, but that nigga cut that sawzall on, and I said I declined. I ain't want to talk no way. I just was killing time while I was eating watermelon. You know what I'm talking about? But there is a passage in the law with it. Who can tell me where it is? I'll narrow it down for you. It's in the book of Genesis. It's in the book of Genesis. Who can tell? Well, father and son were made one, and his name is one, though it's more than one. Come on now, talk to me. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Joanne. All right. 41 and 39. Stanley got Genesis 41 and 39. I know what he's referring to, but that is not the one that we're looking for. But I'll read it out loud for you. Only because Pharaoh is not Joseph's father. But Genesis 41 and 39, though. Now, in the concept of two being one, this wouldn't necessarily be incorrect. But we're talking about a father and a son, name being one, though it be more than one. Genesis 41 and 39, though. I'll make it 37. This thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find as this a man in whom the Ruach of Elohim? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as Elohim showed you all this, none is so discreet and wise as you. You shall be over my house, and according unto your word shall all my people be ruled. Only in throne will I be greater than you. And the aspect of saying two would be one as far as rulership, I don't have no problem with that. But I'm talking about a father and a son and being one and their name one. Genesis 1, see, she mentioned the same thing he did. See, that R is not there. There's no R likeness there. It's likeness. There's no R image there. It's just R. Let me tell you something, because I mentioned this on Zadok Stream Sunday, and we do this. I implore every last one of you to always look up and see what stuff means. Because see, English is a very odd language when you're translating an action language. So there's things that are interjected there that should not be there that can throw things off. See, all of us for years, even before you in the word, you look at our image, you see, that's Jesus and the Father, and that's not there. There's no R there. It's just likeness. Let's make man in likeness, in image. That's what it literally says. It doesn't say anything other than that. But you have a father and a son, and their name one. No one can tell me I'm at 1850. I will give you till 1950. No, it's not Adam, Lisa. I'll give you to 1950. So you don't listen because you be worrying about a whole bunch of other stuff that is unnecessary. And that's not going to serve you well in the later years of your life. Because you don't pay attention, because you focused on what Martha's focused on. That's not a good attribute. You ought to unlearn it. So we got 23 seconds. We almost out of there. You got 15 seconds.
Isn't it Jacob?
Jacob. No. Maybe not. No, because Jacob is not Isaac's.
Isaac.
Yeah, I mean, that's his son, but they're named not one. Let's go over here to Genesis chapter 48. Let's come in verse 7. Matter of fact, make it verse 4. Shoot, make it 3. I'll just do 1. I don't want to leave nothing out of context because I want you to have a complete understanding. And I'm seeing if I'm looking up, I'm going to leave something out.
I thought it would be Jacob because Yahshua, as in all
But-
12 would be into one. That's what I thought about.
No, but see, that's different. See, this is different because their name our name ain't one. See, it's called the Sons of Yahshua. You know what I'm talking about? Versus like, oh, we're all one because we're those 11 men, they were his sons. Let's take a look though. Genesis 48:1. It came to pass after these things that one, that told Joseph, behold, your father sick. He took with him 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, and told Jacob and said, behold, your son Joseph come unto you. Yahshua strengthened himself and sat upon the bed. Jacob said unto Joseph, Elohim Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan and baruch me. He said unto me, behold, I will make you fruitful and multiply you. I will make you a multitude of people. I will give this land to your seed and you after you an everlasting possession. Now your 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto you in the land of Mizraim, before I came unto you into Mizraim, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. And your issue, which you beget after them, shall be yours. Shall be called after the name of their brethren and their inheritance. As for me, when I came from Padan, Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan in the way, and when yet but a little way to come unto Ephrath, and I buried her there, the way of Ephrath, the same as Bethlehem. Yahshua beheld Joseph's 2 sons and said, who are these? Joseph said unto his father, they, my sons, whom Elohim have given me in this. And he said, bring them, I pray you, unto me, and I will baruch them. Now the eyes of Yahshua were dim for age. He could not see. He brought them near unto him. He kissed them and embraced them. Yahshua said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see your face. And lo, Elohim have showed me also your seed. Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand towards Yahshua's left hand, Manasseh in his left hand towards Yahshua's right hand, and brought them near unto him. Yahshua stretched out his right hand and laid it on Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. He baruched Joseph and said, Elohim, whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the Elohim which fed me all my life, long unto this day, Elohim which redeemed me from all evil, baruch the lads, and let my name be named on them, in the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. When Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. He held up his father's hand and removed from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. Joseph said unto his father, not so, my Abba, for this, the firstborn, put your right hand upon his head. The father and his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He also shall become a people. He also shall be great, but truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. He baruched them that day, saying, and you shall Yahshua bless, saying, Elohim make you as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he said, Ephraim before Manasseh. And Yahshua said unto Joseph, behold, I die, but Elohim shall be with you and bring you again into the land of your fathers. Now, what did you see Jacob do? He named his name, right? But who these 2 sons belong to? Ephraim and Manasseh belong to whom? Joseph. Now come over here and look at Ezekiel 48. We still hold Ezekiel 47 and Zechariah 14, by the way. Now, these are 2 sons, right? Joseph is their father, and you're going to see, and in that day, there'll be one Joseph, and his name one. That's what you're going to see, because Joseph's name means Elohim, take away my reproach. Just follow what I'm talking about, and you can see. Now, let's come over here, right? I'm going to read every tribe. Ezekiel 48 and 30. And these, the goings out of the city on the north side, 4,500 measures. And the gates of the city, after the names of the tribes of Yahshua, 3 gates northward, 1 gate Reuben, 1 gate Judah, 1 gate Levi. At the east side, 4,500, 3 gates. 1 gate who? Joseph. 1 gate Benjamin, and 1 gate who? Dan. Now let's see. When you look, see, I'm gonna show you something else, right? Because individuals be running their mouth, they don't know what they be talking about. You know, we done talked about this before. People say Dan ain't a tribe of Israel. You a dummy. Because this is talking about New Jerusalem, and it say Dan got a gate. But guess who you gonna see ain't got no gate here? Who you think it gonna be? Ephraim and Manasseh ain't got no gate. And the south side, 4,500 measures, 3 gates. 1 gate Simeon, 1 gate Issachar, 1 gate Zebulun. On the west side, 4,500 with their 3 gates. 1 gate Gad, 1 gate of Asher, 1 gate of Naphtali. No Ephraim and Manasseh, but you seen who? Joseph, correct? But what did he bless Joseph's sons with? He said, my name would be on them, and that they should receive the same inheritance that Abraham and Isaac got, did it not? So guess what that means? The Father and the Son are one, and in that day, their name will be one. There's be no separation of Ephraim and Manasseh. Ephraim and Manasseh is as Joseph is as Ephraim and Manasseh. Do you follow what I'm talking about? Now check this out. And it was round about 18,000, and the name of the city from that day, Yahuwah, is there. Now hold on. What is Ezekiel 48 pointing to, Lee? What city is this? You don't know, Lee? I don't appreciate this, Lee. Revelation 21, if you would. Dan did get a blessing. Dan did get a blessing. Dan got a gate because Dan is the son of Yahshua.
He's going back to the great city lesson.
No, yeah, I mean to show you that city, that this is New Jerusalem. See, this is to tie back to Zechariah 14. Praise Yahuwah indeed, East. Praise Yahuwah indeed. Now come to Revelation 21. See what I mean with understanding. See, you can't one verse that. You know what I'm saying? Now you ain't got to be like Genesis, but you be like, hey man, hey, name of Yahshua was put on Ephraim and Manasseh. They the sons of Joseph. Joseph is the father. Joseph and the sons are one in that day. And you see in that day is in the kingdom of heaven when they are one. See, before I read Revelation 21, see, let me show this for the stupid people in the back. Not none of y'all, but the stupid people who will come back around later. Come back over here to Revelation 7. See, I want you to look at something. See, this is where people get the game twisted at, is this group of passaging right here. Revelation 7 and 1, let's let it run. See, when you look at Genesis 49, Bella, when you're looking at Dan will count himself as one of the tribes of Israel, but he's a serpent, by the way. See, people say, see, he got cast out. That's not what it said. He just said, sons, let me tell you what's going to befall you in the latter days. That's what he told them. You know what I'm talking about? Because Dan, he say, what is a judge right or wrong? Dan is you can't make somebody, you can't undo who your father is. I don't care how much you hate your daddy. You can't undo who your father is. Dan will forever and always be a son of Yahshua. You know why? Because he comes from the loins and seed of Jacob. And that can never change. And guess what Yahuwah made? A covenant with who? Abraham and his seed after him. And Dan is a seed of Abraham because he's a seed of Isaac, because he is a seed of Jacob. Therefore, Dan has a right to an inheritance, irregardless of what any Israelite now erroneously thinks, because you keep getting sold bad dope and smoking it, thinking it's good. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I ain't talking about her question. I'm talking about this debate about Dan has been going on for years. This ain't no new conversation. You know what I'm saying? Dude's been arguing about this for 10 years. You know what I'm talking about? Nevertheless, let's look at Revelation 7:1. After these things, I saw 4 Malachim standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding 4 winds of the earth, and that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another Malachim ascending from the east, having the seal of the living Elohim. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 Malachim, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our Elohim in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the sons of Yahshua. Of the tribe of Judah, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Reuben, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Gad, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Asher, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Naphtali, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Manasseh, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Simeon, 12,000. Tribe of Levi, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Issachar, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Zebulun, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Joseph, sealed 12,000. Tribe of Benjamin, sealed 12,000. Who's missing? Dan. So you know what people say? See, Dan been cast out because he ain't got 144,000. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Yahuwah chose to pick Manasseh. You just seen he said that he would be a great nation. Did you not see that? See, that's Yahuwah's preference. That ain't got nothing to do with Dan been cast away. Now let's go to Revelation 21. I want you to pick this up at about verse 1. We need to establish that that city that Yahuwah is there with those gates is New Jerusalem, which will take us back to Zechariah 14, which will take us back to something that I mentioned to y'all on Wednesday. Yes.
Does that just mean that none of Dan's tribe is going to be kept away? 144?
No. He doesn't have anything to do with that. Because guess who else ain't got nothing to do with it? Unless you say the Father and the Son are one, because Ephraim wasn't mentioned either.
Right.
But
I'm saying, you know what it said, not what it said, what the script says as far as the 144,000. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, but see, and I did say the tribe of Joseph, it could be 6,000 from Joseph, 6,000 for Ephraim. It could be 9,000 from Ephraim and 3,000 from Joseph. It could be 11,000 from Joseph and 1,000 from Ephraim. It could be none from Ephraim. But remember, he said, my name is on them. So Ephraim is contained in Joseph. He just picking 12,000 out of Manasseh. You know who else came from the tribe of Manasseh? It's a notable man in this text who come from the tribe of Manasseh. Move with haste, Dory. Who can tell me a notable man in this text who come from the tribe of Manasseh? Who can tell me another notable man in this text who come from the tribe of Dan? And they got a memorial. You got, matter of fact, you got two notable men in this text who come from the tribe of Dan who got a memorial. What tribe he come from? How you know that? Huh? Google told you? You had to Google it? Yes, Gideon is the man from Manasseh notable. I'm mistaken on the other dude. He don't come from. Who's the other notable man who come from the tribe of Dan? Let me tell you something. Dan got a whole book. You ain't even know it. That's right. Samson. Mama done failed. You don't know about that, do you? I'm sorry. It's okay. I let Deidre watch it. She didn't appreciate it. These nuts. No, half-baked. Half-baked. I just threw that in there because it was there and I took it. Yes, I don't care what you think about me doing it. I did it for my own amusement, and that's all that matters to me. Yes. And that is correct. We'll also mention, Yahushua son of Nun come from Ephraim. He's an Ephraimite. You know what they say an Ephraimite is? A Puerto Rican. Taino Indian. You Taino or you just nigga? You don't know what a Taino is? No, a Taino Indian is lived on the island of Puerto Rico. I'm just a black person. That's all I know. I'm just black. What you is, cuz? I know, I'm trying to think. So, come on back to Revelation 21, right? Let's look at verse 1. And a new Shamahim and a new Arats, for the first Shamahim and first Arats were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, Yachanan, saw the Kadash city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Elohim out of Shamahim, prepared as a bride adorned for a husband. I heard a great voice out of Shamahim saying, behold, the tabernacle of Elohim with men. He will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Elohim himself shall be with them, their Elohim. Elohim shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. There shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. We're just establishing that Yahuwah is there. Now let's come over here. Let's look at Revelation 21 and 12. Should I make it 21 and 10 on general principle? And he carried me away in the Ruach to a great and high mountain and showed me that great city, the Kadash, Jerusalem, descending out of Shamahim from Elohim. And it had a wall great and high, 12 gates. At the gates, 12 Malachim, and the names written thereon, which are of the 12 tribes of the sons of Yahshua. Now, y'all already know that. You seen that in Ezekiel, right? It said that these gates had a name. There's also something we discussed on Wednesday. Remember, we looked at Hamashiach's kingdom. Did it have walls? Did it have gates? Absolutely not. So in Hamashiach's kingdom, you won't be separated by tribe going in through gates to inherit your territory. You'll just be dwelling there unwalled. See, that's the difference. That's how you know when you read that Ezekiel 38, you know that New Jerusalem has not came down from Shamahim at this particular point because there are no walls, nor bars, nor no gates. You're living in an unwalled village. But then you come at the end of the chapter and you see what? The city got what? 12 gates. Named for the 12 tribes of the sons of Yahshua. And who had a tribe? Dan had a tribe. You know who didn't have, who had a gate? Dan had a gate. You know who didn't have a gate? Manasseh and Ephraim didn't have a gate. You know why? Because they under Joseph. Because the father and the son are one and their name is one in that day. Let's continue. Verse 13. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, on the west 3 gates. That's exactly what you heard in Ezekiel. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. He that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the gates thereof and the wall thereof. And the city lie 4 square length, as large as the breadth, all thereof 144 cubits, to the measure of a man, that is of the Malachim. And the building of the wall of it was jasper, the city pure gold, like unto clear glass. I just want you to, I'm reading that for a reason. This man say the city, not just the streets, the city was pure gold, like transparent glass. You know what I'm talking about? And the foundations of the wall of the city, garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation, jasper. The second, sapphire. The third, cardoni. The fourth, emerald. The fifth, sardonyx. The sixth, sardius. The seventh, chrysolite. The eighth, beryl. The ninth, topaz. The 10th, criparis. The 11th, jacinth. The 12th, amethyst. And the 12 gates, 12 pearls. And every several gate was of 1 pearl, and the street of the city pure gold, as it were transparent glass. And I saw no temple therein, for Yahuwah Elohim Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. Now, do you not notice something? Yahuwah and the Lamb, they there together, right? We read something on Wednesday in this regard. Who can tell me what it was? And the city had no need of the sun, neither the moon to shine in it, for the esteem of Elohim did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. Y'all don't recall what we read? Don't worry about it, because it's okay, because you might not remember. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not being facetious or nothing like that. It's all right. 1 Corinthians 15. Come on back around here, man. Verse 22. I think it's 20. I'll do 20. Shoot, I do 17. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. Yeah, man. 1 Corinthians 15 and 17. This is how you explain Zechariah 14 and 9 would say, in that day Yahuwah will be king and Yahuwah is one. Because you also see, hold on, before I read 1 Corinthians 15, my apologies. It's been in my mind the whole time. That's my fault. John 17. Now, see, he gave you John 10. I need to give you John 17 first. Because John 10 is good. John 10 is very good. No problem with it. 17 and 20. Neither pray I these for these alone, but for them which shall believe on me through their word, that they all may be one, as you, Abba, in me, and I in you, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you have sent me. And the esteem which you gave me, I will be given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. See, they already one. There's no separation between the two, right? See, now I'm going to show you. I'm reading this here. You know this. Now come to 1 Corinthians 15 and 17. You could make it 16. Now let's look at it how Yahuwah will be one in that day, because the Lamb is with the Father here. And you read in Revelation 21, didn't you? And they won in that day. And the name won. You know how also the name is one? Do you recall what it said about Yahushua and his name in Revelation? Who can tell me what does the book say about Yahushua and his name in the book of Revelation? I thank the Lord. You know, Lee? Book. What does the book of Revelation say about the Lord and his name? By his name. Change to what? Say what? You sure about that?
I was about to say Revelation 2 and 17.
That is correct. It says that he will have a name which no man will know except he who he give it to. So you don't even know. So you don't even know why it could be stating that him and his Father are one, and that you will be one, because you have no idea what the name will be. You know what the beautiful part about that is? What verse that was?
What you said?
Yeah, what verse that is? Come on,
Revelation 2 and 17.
come over here to Revelation 2 and 17 for me. I'm backing up to 14 on general principle. I'm sorry, that's chapter 3. So don't go to 14, because that would be erroneous. Screw it. I go to 12. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Were you yelling at me, cuz? What you gonna do? Nah, you don't make no noise. Revelation 2 and 12. And to the Malachim of the synagogue in Pergamos write, these things saith he which hath a sharp sword with two edges. I know your works and where you dwell, where Hashatan seat, and you hold fast my name. You have not denied my faith. I'm sorry, y'all. You have not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas, my faithful martyr, was slain among you, where Hashatan dwell. But I have a few things against you, because you have there them which hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the sons of Yahshua, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. What is the doctrine of Balaam, glory? Balaam. Civic, you know the teachings of Balaam, because Glory don't know. I mean, clearly, I just said that. The question is, what is the doctrine of, you don't know who Balaam is? Who is it? She don't know who Balaam is. Sean's just trying to help you out. He say the worship of Baal Peor, but see, it's a little bit more than the worship of Baal Peor. You don't know who Balaam is? I suggest you go read the book of Numbers. Not only did Balaam worship Baal Peor, but he did it for money. He prophesied for money. Y'all don't know? Come over here to Peter. Y'all done forgot.
2 and 15. 2 Peter.
They done forgot already.
Yeah, the son of the sword who loved the wages of unrighteousness.
Y'all forgot? Balaam is the dude who donkey went to talking to him. Y'all don't know. 2 Peter chapter 2. I want you to pick it up at verse 12. He said, but these are natural brute beasts made to be taken and destroyed. Speak of evil of the things they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. They shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they count it pleasure to ride in the daytime, spots and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you. Having eyes full of adultery, and they cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, a heart they have, exercise with covetous practices, curse children. See, Paul, since he's talking about covetous practices, because I think I mentioned this the other day, It's for certain things. You know who else is an idolater, Dory? What work can you do to be classified as an idolater that has nothing to do with worshiping the idol God? She stuck like Chuck or two dogs in the buck. Come on now. That disturbed you, didn't it? I hope not. You're from New York City. You shouldn't be disturbed by anything. I wager you've seen two bums getting it on in an alley. Y'all just be used to it. Be like, it smells bad. Two people over there. I imagine. Boot say self-worship. Bella said I flipped them, but I want to curse it. Okay. She mentioned it. There is mentioned 1 Samuel 15 and 23. That ain't it. Let me show you. Luke chapter 12. Sean, Drew put anything besides y'all. Same thing Sean said. That ain't it. That ain't it. Come over here to Luke chapter 12 if you would. 12 and 15 to be specific. You can make it 12 and 13. And from there, I believe it's Ephesians that I desire. But we shall see. Luke 12 and 13, one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother that he divide the inheritance with me. He said unto them, Man, who made me a judge or divider over you? And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consists not in the abundance of things which he possesses. Come over here to Ephesians, if you would. What's one of the laws, one of the 10 words? What's one of those things you were told not to do in them 10 words? Don't covet your neighbor's ass or anything that is your neighbor's. If I can get to where we need to be, we might could make a move, man. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 1, if you would. And be you therefore followers of Elohim as dear sons, and walk in love as also Mashiach have loved us, and given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanliness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as become faithful. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this you know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater have any inheritance in the Malkuth of a Mashiach and of Elohim. Notice how he lets you know that you can't get in either kingdom. But see, being covetous makes you an idolater. And guess what? It ain't got to be coveting money neither. You know what I'm saying? The reason, see, y'all mentioned those things, but I wanted you to go, some of y'all answers are more so offshoots of what that is. But when you covetous, you have a lust and a desire for something that is not Yahuwah. See, that means you ain't serving Yahuwah with a ready heart and a willing mind at that point. You're seeking to please yourself. That's why Yahushua told around, you better take heed and beware of covetousness. A man's life don't consist in the abundance of things that he possesses. See, I would put this word to proper. See, ain't nothing wrong if you have a desire to increase your financial status. It's wrong if you covet it after that, though. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that you're not necessarily coveting someone else's money. It's that you covet money, period. You know what I'm talking about? That you see, let's look at the definition of covet. Let's do that. We still holding Ezekiel 47 and Zechariah 14 and 9, by the way. And Deuteronomy 20. So you look at covet, you have kamad, kot, mean, dollar, to desire, to covet, to take pleasure in. You see that? To take pleasure in. What is it to be have served Yahuwah with a willing mind? It's kafas. It's to do what? To take pleasure in. To delight, to have a mind that delights and take pleasure in serving him. To be desirable, to delight greatly. to desire greatly. That's why covetousness is a very, very strong issue. See, you got some men, they're going to go to hell because they covet sex. See, it was something I heard a dude say before, which is accurate. And it was better, like I said, right? I remember I told y'all before, right? You'll see like them boys fresh and fit. They say when a man get to a certain point and now he can get the women, he used the candy store analogy, he eat all the candy. You know what type of men do that? What type of men you think do that? Get to a point in their life that now they can have sex with all type of women, that now they just go and do it. No. That's not what I'm angling towards. What'd you say?
Insecure.
Not even insecure. You know what type of man do that? No, that's the type of man who never got attention from women until he got some money. You know what I'm talking about? Now that he got money, he can go have sex with all these women who, if he didn't have it, he wouldn't be able to achieve any type of interaction with you. See, that's the worst kind of nigga, because not only is he a trick, not only is he a sucker and a buster, not only is he driven by his lust, but he spent all his adult life trying to accrue resources to get attention from women who would never give it to him. See what I'm saying? See, y'all don't have those problems. So y'all wouldn't know. See, if y'all got some money, y'all ain't gonna be like, I'm gonna go find all the penises I can find. You know what I'm saying? But it's different. See, all of us just went to school. Maybe some of y'all were that dude that you didn't get attention from women like that. See, y'all don't understand. See, I be telling y'all this because y'all be thinking that all these dudes out here getting some, and they not. I just listened to this nigga Jason Black was going off on this lady talking about I think I mentioned that Wednesday. If I didn't, I'm mentioning it now. There was a study off a dating app, by the way. I don't know how accurate that could be. Where they say that most men are lonely now because women have higher standards to have more healthy relationships. And as the woman was talking, she was saying, yeah, see, they lonely now. And he had to tell her son, not the top 20% of men. They've always been knocking women down. They've never had that problem. But these other 80% of men, they've been lonely. They ain't get lonely in 2022. They were lonely in 2012. They were lonely in 1992. They was lonely in 1892. You know what I'm saying? Remember I told you that long time? You like all them niggas in school getting some coochie. This nigga, you know, for every 2 niggas you seen knocking down hoes in high school, it was 50 niggas who were going home with lotion and shame. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. For every dude you think had a whole bunch of chicks, it was 22 dudes sitting at home on a Friday, Saturday night with no female attention. And not because they were choosing to focus on their studies or some money or this, that, there, and the third, because no woman wanted to talk to them. Do you know how many of your peers didn't go to prom because there was no woman who was going to go with them? You know it's niggas that went to prom with their own relatives? You know what I'm talking about? Well, he did that. You know, you got niggas, they go what they cut because nobody else is going to go. Nobody's going with them. Y'all just be thinking dudes just got all these type of women. You think the bag boy at Winn-Dixie at 29 years old got his pick from women? Shoot, there's some niggas. I ain't going to pick at a nigga if he old working at Publix because Publix paying. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas got benefits. It's an employee-owned company. You know what I'm saying? It benefit them to stay there. I've been told y'all that. Publix is the only grocery store that you see old people stay there for a long time. You know what I'm talking about? You see Winn-Dixie. You go to Winn-Dixie or anywhere, see all these other food supermarkets gone. Look here, right? Because when there was Albertsons, when there was Food Line here, you know what I'm talking about? You see all type of niggas. You go in the store one day, it's a different nigga in there. You go to Publix, it's the same niggas at your local Publix. They've been there for 10, 15, 20 years. Same people. Yeah, same people. Y'all don't pay attention. If you go to Publix a lot, especially if you live in a neighborhood and you go to them people still be there.
And they gonna make your smile on their face.
Absolutely. Because it benefits them to stay there. You know what I'm saying? This ain't like, oh, this nigga work at Publix. This nigga might make more money than you. You know what I'm talking about? But you look, he work at Publix. You know what I'm saying? Publix is different than every grocery store. It's bright. They lights work.
Very clean.
You know, I mean, most grocery stores clean except for Walmart.
You got the cake slices in the front.
You know what I'm talking
Buy
about?
one, get one.
Yeah, except for Walmart. Well, every Walmart except for new ones look dirty.
Even the
the
new
first month,
Even the new ones,
after the first month is over,
Oh, you go to Walmart?
I've been to neighborhood Walmart. Yeah.
It's my neighborhood Walmart. I like to go
It's
in there.
Meadows.
Ain't even no neighborhood Walmarts over here.
Wilson. It is.
Oh, so you like to go travel in the slums?
Not really.
You know, get you some Philly wings while you over there.
Some Philly wings. But yeah, nevertheless, you know what I'm saying. But nah, man, like it's here, right? And it's no different. And I'm saying that it's no different with the word. It's only a select group of people who gonna get it out of every generation. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, if you see one thing about a lot of dudes is dudes lie. You know what I'm saying? So they'll make you believe that they got all these women and they ain't got none. You know how some dudes be like be feeling good about themselves because they on the phone talking with women. I just literally heard a woman ask a man, she said, why do men always choose to go hang with their homeboys and hang with their old lady? It's a shame that a grown woman would even have to ask that question. Do you understand why men would rather go hang with their friends than with their woman? The funny part is the lady say, it's giving me gay vibes. I said, look at this raggedy hoe. You know why men would rather, and he told her very, very adeptly, what level of masculinity or challenge or pushing or growth can a man get from hanging around women? You know what I'm saying? Especially if he's a masculine man, it's only so much feminine energy that he gonna want to take. You know what I'm talking about? Like no man or a man's man, as people like to say it, wants to spend an inordinate amount of time around a woman. It don't matter. It doesn't mean that he don't love his woman. Like who wants to sit around a woman all day, every day? Do you know what that's going to do to you? Do you know what they had in that study about men not having relationships and women wanting more healthy standards? It said that basically men needed to communicate more and emotionally connect with a woman, meaning I want you to be a masculine man in the things that matter, but be feminine with me in your interaction. You know what I'm talking about? That is devastatingly destructive. And you know why it is? Because you know what the text tells a man not to do? Don't give your strength unto women. That is not the way of kings. A man who's going to have dominion and rule cannot give himself over to a woman. He can't do it. Because he's not going to be able to have dominion and rule. I literally seen the junk, what I seen. I think y'all seen the meme where they say men are emotionally attracted to men, but physically attracted to women. And I asked a question which nobody could answer. What is emotional attraction? What does that mean? What does that even mean? I'm attracted to your sex. I'm attracted to your anger. What does that even mean? That doesn't even make sense. But you know what they were really referring to? Men would rather talk about their issues and problems with other men and not with me. Well, what the hell you gonna be able to tell him? Have you ever wanted a man to come tell you what he did? Did you have some? I'm ready to help you out. Ready to help you out. You know how you can't help him out? I've told y'all this 1,000 times. You don't understand. You don't know what it's like to be a man. You don't know what it's like to deal with men's problems. You're not going to be able to answer those. You're not going to be able to offer anything. So why would I come talk to you? But you know how women feel? I'm being shut out. You're not including me. Nigga, this ain't kindergarten. What do you need to be included in? A conversation that you're not going to assist in? I'd rather smoke crack. You know what I'm talking about?
Here you go, that crack.
You ever seen somebody on crack?
Smoke crack.
He was talking about that. He said if they they figured out I don't like to hang around them.
Yeah, that's what a lady asked this question too, talking about name something you admire about a woman. She say most men don't like women outside of physicality. But this is the thing, right? This is another part of a feminization. women want men to view them like they view men. Why, as a man, in your entire life, have you ever heard a man say, I admire my wife? Do you know what that means to have admiration? See, we've talked about this before, because it is important for a woman to admire her husband. It is not necessary for a man to admire his wife. Do you think Yahuwah admires you? Do you know what admiration means? You know what that means?
Yes, like I have a deep respect for somebody.
Deep respect.
Like you look up to them.
Why in the hell would I be looking up to a woman and I got a leader? That don't make common sense. You don't like women. Well, what do you want me to like? Because, and when I say that, meaning if you're with a woman, I would wager it would be parts of her character, which is how she behaves, that you would like. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, and I tell you this here because this is how people view Yahuwah. They don't like Yahuwah because they don't feel like Yahuwah embodies personality or character traits that they find to be admirable. Because see, Yahuwah is not going to sweat them. Like, don't you notice people like, if God was such and such, why he don't do this? Because you want somebody to chase you. You want somebody to blow smoke up your butthole. You know what I'm talking about? And he's not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Well, at the end of the day, I told you this before. This is my personal opinion. Most women are have narcissistic tendencies and leanings, meaning that they want to be extremely more important in your life than they actually are, and they want to be worshipped. You know what I'm saying? And what do you find that about most men? Why they can't serve Yahuwah? Because they want to seem very much more important than what they actually are, and they want to be worshipped. You know what I'm saying? Which is why they can't serve him. Because they won't see, it's all the same. It's the same thing. It goes both ways. See, one is more detrimental to the other. Because see, the man has to do the woman like Yahuwah does man and ignore you. And don't feed into that father. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'll tell you something, man. The young brother said this the other day, and I'm a wholehearted believer in this here. If you live your life trying to please and keep a woman happy, you'll have a life of misery. Because you'll never be able to do it. Yeah, you'll never be able to do it. It's an impossible task. Because she's never happy. You know what I'm talking about? You're never happy. Because the minute you do what she said will make her happy on Tuesday, it's not going to make her happy on Thursday. Now something else is going to make me happy. And now you have to go do this. So you end up becoming a slave. This is how you give your strength unto a woman, which is akin to giving your strength unto the whore of Babylon and drinking from her cup and the wine and wrath of her fornication. Because you're going to live to make her happy. And you'll never be able to do it because the minute you achieve that, they're going to want something else. And then I'm going to want something else. And then she can't respect you because then she knows that you are a slave to her desires. And you know why you're a slave to her desires? Because you coveted that woman. That's how you became an idolater. Why is that important? Because what does the text tell a man not to do? To not lust after a woman's beauty after your eyelids. What does that mean? To not desire a woman strictly for her physicality. What does the text tell you to do? To actually look and see a woman's character. Because he said a whore is a deep pitch, and son, you fall in it, you'll get destroyed. And all of that could be similitudes to the whore of Babylon. Which is, what does the whore of Babylon offer? Riches, fame, all that stuff that's in Revelation 17, because you coveted after it. And now you have become an idolater. You know what I'm saying? See, it seemed that it was a discussion about women and how they behave, and it is not. It's about how whatever you desire and take great pleasure in will now become your God because you lust after that. The lust you're supposed to have for these other items is the lust you're supposed to have for Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? Meaning that you take delight in him. This is how you'll be able to get the victory to actually have right to the tree of life. You can't get that victory when you're coveting something outside of Yahuwah. You're not going to be able to do it. That's how you become an idolater. The idolatry ain't got nothing to do. It don't have to be money. It don't have. So that's why I mentioned dudes who covet having sex with a lot of women. sex is a god to them because they don't covet the women, they covet the physical pleasure. So therefore, their idol is sex because that's what they covet. That's what they desire. That's what they take pleasure in. And I told you a real lame nigga anyway. If you couldn't get women before you had money, you's a lame. That means you gotta pay her. I ain't paying no woman to talk to me. I ain't paying no woman to stay around me. I'm not paying a woman for her body. Your body ain't that valuable to me to give you that for an exchange for what I had to go sweat and be tired and possibly be injured to earn. Your physicality, it doesn't equate to me. That's not even equal value. Me releasing semen is not equal value to the time I put in to acquire that. Your beauty doesn't equal to that. That's no disrespect to women. I just understand the work I put in to acquire that resource. So I value that because I value my time, my effort, my precision, my execution, my planning. I value all of that. That's more important to me than just a piece of vagina. You know what I'm talking about? See, I'm telling this here because some young man needs to be told that, boy, you don't pay no woman for her company. You know what I'm saying? You don't pay no woman to talk to you. Now, if you got to pay a woman to talk to you, she don't like you. You know what I'm talking about? Like this here, man, do be like this here. Like the lady say, oh, if he take you out on a coffee date, man, I ain't taking you nowhere. Not to get you to like me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I enjoy your company and it's somewhere that I was going to go anyway, and I would prefer your company to be with me, then you can accompany me because I'm not doing this in order to get you to like me. I'm doing this because this is where I'm going. I enjoy your company. I would like for you to accompany me. Would you care to do that? I'm not doing I seen a dude sued a woman for $1,000 because she went out on a date with him and then called her ex to come pick her up, and he sued her for $1,000. But why are you spending $1,000 on somebody who you do not know? Because you were trying to pay for her attention and affection. You deserve to be out of $1,000. You a fool. You know how we know this? Because I don't care what nobody say. When a woman like you, you ain't got to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? She don't mind going nowhere, but if she like you, you ain't got to do none of that. You ain't got to spend no whole bunch of money. You ain't got to take her to no extravagant. Shalom, brother Reynolds. You ain't got to take her to no extravagant location because she just wants to be around you. You know what I'm talking about? You don't have to do that. I learned that young. You know how many dudes don't know that? Boy, she don't like you, boy. That's why you got to spend all that bread. See, it's different if you were going to this restaurant to drop $1,000 because this is where you go eat at. So all you doing is getting the experience of me. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't doing this for you. That sounds familiar. Because when you come to Yahuwah, you get the experience of Yahuwah. He ain't doing that to get you to like him. This is what it's like to be down with me, baby. This is how I roll. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't doing this for you. This is how I roll. I praise God. See, a lot of people don't even realize that when you get down with Yahuwah, he showed your forefathers that in the wilderness. This is how I roll. This is how I get down. What you mean? Bread? Man, I make manna come out of the sky. What are you talking about? That's nothing. This is how I roll. But there's a lot of dudes you don't have that. Man, I'm telling y'all ladies just don't understand. Y'all been getting sexual attention from men since your breast started sprouting. You know what I'm saying? You think little boys been getting sexual attention from women at the same time that you began to get it? Oh, absolutely not. You thought, oh, his voice got deep. The girls look like, ooh, he fine, girl. You heard his voice? No, that doesn't happen. You know what I'm talking about? Most young boys, they don't get muscular in high school. Most of us, if they didn't play football, most of the young men you knew in school were not muscular. You know what I'm talking about? Unless they were born naturally cocky. Most niggas are slim, average built, or fat. You know what I'm talking about? Because if he ain't play football, he ain't have no muscular build. So he ain't have that. So they had to be strictly on what his face looked like or his ability to adorn himself in fresh apparel that he was not paying for. Unless he sold drugs. Because some of y'all peers sold drugs in school. You know what I'm talking about? Let's just be honest. You see, Sean said, I had a fool in my presence bragging about tricking and his reasoning was, some brothers feel that way, that, hey, it cuts down on the time, so I'm just going to pay for sex. I ain't paying no woman for no physical pleasure. I ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to have conversations like that when we were young. I'm like, bro, I'm not paying no woman for no coochie, bro. I refuse. I think that is disrespect to my sensibilities as a man. I just don't know. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I told y'all how I felt when I was young. I buy weed. I'd rather buy weed than buy vagina. When I was in my 20s, that's how I seen it. If you ain't gonna give it to me off my own volition, I go buy some reefer, ho. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. Reefer lasts longer, and she don't talk. You know what I'm saying? She just listens. You know what she listened to? The blunt burn. You know what I'm saying? It's better that way. I'd rather get me some money. You know what I'm talking about? But I was different. I'd rather get me some money. You know what I'm saying? Then when I got in the word, dude talking about, I want a wife. For me, I want some word. I need some understanding. I ain't around here chasing, looking for no wife. You know how many brews I see posting every day about they ain't got no wife? You ain't got no word. You don't need no wife. You need to get some word first, then get you a wife. You know what I'm talking about? We had this conversation years ago. I said, man, ain't nowhere in the world nigga ready to be no husband, man. You know what I'm talking about? I said, well, we coming out of the world, into the world. You talking about getting a wife? Nigga, that's treacherous. You know what I'm saying? See, it ain't like y'all young. Y'all was young. You know what I'm saying? It's better go ahead, jump on that train young. Nigga, we was already about that. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what it takes to be able to be a husbandman? You just don't learn that overnight. You know what I'm talking about? And you got nigga been in the word 10 years talking about you ain't got a wife. Well, look at what the Lord done for you. He gave you 10 years to focus on him. And the whole time, what you've been doing, coveting a wife. And guess what he ain't gave you? Because he said you ask not, because you receive not, because you ask not. And you ask amiss to consume it on your lust. Because you didn't want a wife because you wanted to help me. You wanted to beat and skeet. And guess what? Look at you. You in the room looking at the lotion. I bet not seeing. That's what you want. Nasty bastard. Come on back over here, man. Zechariah 14. (14 and 9). But do y'all see how that works? Oh, I didn't read 1 Corinthians 15 and 22. I'm sorry. 15 and 16. Shoot, you know I ain't lying. That's all these brute to my man. We need a wife, man. These Eves, these sisters, man. Get you some spirit, get you some word, and get you some money. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't getting no wife because all you want to do is you lusting, boy. That's your problem. You know what I'm saying? I done told y'all before, man. Niggas be wanting to get married just so they can have sex. You know how sad that is, man? That means you driven by physical. That means you driven by pleasure. But I get it when you young, though. Because most young men are driven by pleasure. You know what I'm saying? By the time I dropped in the word, man, I was already about to be 30. I was 29 years old. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, trying to grab 2, 3 of them, too. Boy ain't got enough stamina for one. He want 2, 3. You know what I'm talking about? That was a joke. I don't know what these niggas got. But I know this here. I couldn't be in the house with 2, 3 women. Oh, absolutely not. I definitely had to go smoke crack then. It's a kin. I got to do something. You know what I'm saying? This ain't going to work for me. 2, 3? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. Because I'm talking about in the same house. See, it's different if they're away from each other. In the same house? Oh, I'm straight. I'm straight. That just made me think about my homeboy, man. My homeboy finna go to prison for a long time. Man, that nigga got it. You understand how ugly this is? You understand how ugly it is to get a trafficking charge and cocaine, methamphetamines, and fentanyl at the same time? That's smoking crack. Because you had to be high as hell to ride around with all them drugs in 2022. And he caught, you know how they caught him with it? A DUI. Why you driving drunk with all that dope?
Where you driving to? Out of town?
He ain't lying, Darius. He would ride around with a license. See, when we was, I know him when we were young. See, when we were young, we used to ride around with word like that. Man, I used to ride around 4 or 5 ounces of hard. You know what I'm talking about? 20 years ago. You know what I'm talking about?
I had to make sure.
This is the thing. It's 20 years later. He's still doing it. This nigga was hustling when I was hustling, and this nigga's younger than me. I had ran across a dude. He was like, "Yeah, man, you ain't no brother out there." I'm like, "No." I looked him up. I said, "Oh boy, that nigga ain't coming home."
He retired.
That bro, fentanyl. Well, them crackers ain't playing about no fentanyl, boy. They don't get you out of here. Yeah, he finna have too much time to think about it. It's over. Man, them 3 30-year felonies. Basically, all the charges he got a PBL. You know what I'm saying? That punishable by life, if you don't know what that stands for. Zechariah 14, and I read 9, but I need to go back to 8. That was my fault. Let's back it up to 7. I had y'all at 9, Zechariah 14. I needed you in 8. 4 grams, 4 years. Always say his homeboy just beat his case. I mean, prayerfully, he beat his. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, right? If you do something to go to prison, you earned that. But boy, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. But if you earned it, you earned it. You got to go handle what you got to go handle. But I wouldn't wish that on nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be like, well, I hope that nigga go. Now, it's some niggas I hope you go to prison. You know what I'm saying? You like to touch on a little churn, I hope you go to prison. I hope when you get there, your bunk pissing. I hope your mattress hard. You know what I'm talking about? I hope every time you go to the child line, you drop your tray and the COs won't let you get another one. I hope every time you go to the commissary window, your doggone card don't work, even though you got money on it. You know what I'm talking about? I hope when you gamble, you always lose. I hope when you go to the basketball court, you catch random elbows. You know what I'm talking about? I don't just want nobody to beat you up and stab you. I want you to have a miserable existence. You know what I'm talking about? I hope every time you get out your bunk to take a piss, you stub your toe. You know what I'm talking about? It's 1 Corinthians. I see why you were looking at that, because we need to read 1 Corinthians 15 to 16 first. It's okay. It's okay.
I know a nigga that said, I put all my stuff on the bunk bed on the top and make his inmate make a pallet on the floor.
Oh, you ain't doing that at FDOC. That nigga gonna get on that bump.
Hard,
you know what I'm talking about? He gonna get on that bump. Okay. Now, if you in a cell, okay, you might get away with that. In an open door, oh, that nigga get on that bump. You know what I'm talking about? That cracker come by and see you on the floor. Oh, this ain't gonna work. You know what I'm talking about? Now, in a 2-man cell, you can get away with that. You gonna sleep on the floor, nigga. I only seen one pedophile get done dirty when I was in prison, man. They found out the black dude did it. All they did was pour urine on his bed. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't really. I'm just gonna give you another mattress and sheets. You know what I'm saying? But they should have kicked that nigga in his face. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, man, it is what it is, man. Hey, man, you can't touch on churn and expect to have a nice ride. You know what I'm saying? No shoot. Nigga might stick a sword in your butt for all you know. When I say sword, I'm talking about a lawnmower blade. You ever seen a lawnmower blade come out the ground? And boy, that's what they had. They put a little handle on that lawnmower blade, put it in the ground. You come on the rec field and it's about to go down. Nigga pulling out a sword just like this here, and they gonna cut you. That's why you stay out of jail. That's why I told the nigga.
They really got a sword fight in their yard.
I done told this before. Like, see, now I'm 42 years old. I don't do crimes. I'm telling on you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to jail. I am a certified habitual felony offender in the state of Florida. It doesn't go away just because I ain't been to prison or jail in a long time. That means I get an enhanced sentence on anything I go to jail for. You know what I'm talking about? Absolutely not. Well, you going to jail. See, I had my homework ride and they were playing that clip of Charleston White talking about that. See, if we agreed to be criminals, I'm not telling them. See, the whole time I was doing crime, I ain't telling on nobody because I'm a criminal. I respect that code. I'm not a criminal. If you get in my car with some drugs, you're going to jail. You get in my car with a gun, and you don't tell me you got that gun in there, and your gun ain't legal, but you got 2.5 seconds to tell them people that's your gun, or you going to jail. Well, I'm not going to jail for you. Like I told y'all a couple weeks ago, you put your hands on me as a woman, you going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? Fooling with me, you going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not going to jail. I done did my 5. I ain't doing no more. I ain't doing time for nobody else because I don't commit crimes. If I commit crimes, I can go do my time. I'm not doing no time for nobody else, and I ain't no criminal. But you're going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? I'm telling you that right now. My dog got in the truck. I told you that. He got in the truck talking about, oh, we beefing with these niggas. I got the heat in here. And I said, if we get pulled over, all us in this truck convicted felons now. It's 5 of us in this car, and we all convicted felons. And you know that I drive fast. If we get pulled over, you're going to jail. You know what I'm talking about?
So you the reason they got
You know what I'm talking about? And I mean that, boy. You're going to jail. No, I told them niggas. I told them niggas this here. I said, bro, I cannot call my wife while she pregnant with my child, talking about I need you to bond me out because I had to be a real nigga. No, boy, you going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? And I mean that. You know what I'm saying? I mean that. I'm not. And I, like I said, I done missed the service. Well, bro, yo, he got locked up. You know, he a real nigga. You know, he ain't gonna tell. Lied you tell. You going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? Well, you going. And I mean that. You know what I'm talking about? Say, but Derek say his dog just did 10 years. His daddy had drugs in the car. He took the charge. He said he didn't want to be a rat. Just got 26 months. Shoot, lying to me. Now, if I'm in the street, I ain't gonna say nothing. Boy, I ain't in the street. Daddy, boy, that's your dope. Why you even making me have to make this choice? Man, I don't give a damn if it's the nigga around the corner.
Never seen a case so daddy.
I don't care who it is, boy. You going to jail. Look here, it's 2 places I ain't going for nobody. That's jail and hell, boy. You're going there by yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Well, you're going there by yourself. You all better have that attitude. Oh, I knew they were penitentiary chances, Bella. I can't speak for nobody else. I knew we were throwing rocks at the chain gang. I threw them proud too, big ones. You know what I'm saying? Might as well. But boy, I'm not going to jail for nobody. Absolutely not. I told you before, let D come in here swinging pots and pans, hit me. Well, I'm not hitting you back. I'm calling the police and you're going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what? I ain't bonding you out. I ain't putting money on your books. You gonna learn a lesson.
She gonna come out playing first day out for T Drew.
Right here. She can't come back here. Because I'm gonna have a restraining order. I don't want you around me. I am prosecuting you to the fullest extent of the law. I ain't got to press no charges. The state gonna do it. And I'm gonna be a willing witness. I come to depositions and all that. That nigga hit me because you gonna learn. Shoot, you so better. Better nigga learn a lesson. Keep your hands to yourself. And if you put your hands on that nigga, you're going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? 1 Corinthians 15 and 16. I know I might sound funny with it, but I ain't playing. Well, you going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not going to jail for you. Absolutely not. You ever been to jail? You ever been to the booty house? Dang, you ain't never seen that movie? Golly. I thought everybody seen Training Day. That's unfortunate.
Push in.
I ain't trying to go to the booty house. But I ain't taking no booty. Them niggas stabbing and fighting in there. 1 Corinthians 15 and 16. For if the dead rise not, and Mashiach is not raised. If Mashiach be not raised, your faith vain, and you are yet in your sins. They that also which are fallen asleep in Mashiach are perished. If in this life we only have hope in Mashiach, we are of all men most miserable. But now is Hamashiach risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept. For since by man death, by man also the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, so even in Mashiach shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order, Mashiach the first fruits, afterwards they that are Mashiach's at his coming. Then the end, when he shall deliver up the Malkuth to Elohim. You see that? So you don't see that in Ezekiel 38. But you notice that when you go from them unwalled villages and cities without gates to a city with gates, the Son has delivered it up to the Father. See, we're going to come back to Zechariah 14 because I should have started in verse 8. That's my fault. But that verse 9, when it says Yahuwah and will be one king over the earth and Yahuwah one, is because the kingdom or the Son has delivered it up so Elohim can be all in all and that they would be one. Y'all understand that? You see how that works? Praise God. Let's continue. Then the end, when he shall deliver it up to Malkuth, to Elohim, even to Abba, when he shall have put down all rule and authority and power. And you know what the wild part is? How long does the sun get to reign for? 1 day. That's how you know that the sun is set up. That's how you know that Yahusha is Yahuwah, because he's going to deliver this up to an individual whose name you know not, whose form you've never seen, whose voice you've never heard, because he only gets 1 day of rulership. See, we look at 1,000-year reign, but Yahusha only gets to rule on earth for 1 day. After that, give it up to the Father. See, we don't even look at it in that aspect. Do you recall what we seen in Revelation 21, where it said what? That Yahuwah, Elohim, and the Lamb are in it. You know what I'm talking about? And there's the light of it also. That nigga like, man, what y'all doing to me?
Yeah, because I can't do it.
You need to go run then. You ain't run, nigga. How long you ran for?
It doesn't matter. I was
You ain't running the street.
I did it too.
How far you ran?
Well, I walked and ran 11 miles, 2 miles. Michael's no witness.
Michael ain't run nowhere. Why y'all asking people to lie for y'all? See, he know you lying. He just shot a bird at you. See, that nigga like that nigga lying. All right, y'all, come over here to verse 25. For he must reign till he put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy shall be destroyed, death. For he put all things under his feet. But when he say all things are put under, manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. And when all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that Elohim might be all in all. You see that? You see how that works? Now let's come over here to Zechariah 14 and 7 one more time. I just want you to see the oneness. You see how that works? Let's go. 14 and 7. But it shall be 1 day which shall be known to you who are not day nor night. It shall come to pass at evening time, it shall be light. And at that day, and it shall be in that day, living water shall go out from Jerusalem, half towards the former sea, half towards the hinder sea, and summer and winter it shall be. Now, you see this here? What are those living? It say living waters, right? Well, let's take a look at something. Zechariah 14. And we've talked about this before. You know, you should have some Kai Ma'im. That's what you should have. Some Kai Ma'im. You know what that means, Dory? Kai Ma'im? Need to study more. What about you, Glory?
You should have some.
You know what Kai Ma'im is?
Enlightenment.
Shoot, I just said it. Kai Ma'im. Go ahead and tell him, Big Boo. Don't nobody know what Kai Ma'im is out here. Yeah, what is Kai Ma'im? Living waters. I know it. What do you read anything about living waters? John 7:37, by the way. No. I'm going to show you. John 7:37 in Revelation, if you would. Okay, I got you, Bella. I got you. John 7:37. In the last day, the great day of the feast, Yahshua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believe on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Now, I'm only focusing on that for a reason, and it might not be why you think I'm focusing on it. See, come over here to Isaiah 58:9. (58:9) Isaiah. Then shall you call, and Yahuwah shall answer. You shall cry, and he shall say, here, I. If you take away from the midst of you the yoke, the putting forth of the finger and speaking vanity. And you draw out your soul to the hungry, satisfy the afflicted soul. Then shall your light rise in obscurity, and your darkness as the noonday. For those of you who know it in context, this is talking about the Day of Atonement and what should be done on the Day of Atonement right there. Nevertheless. And Yahuwah shall guide you continually and satisfy your soul in drought and make fat your bones. And you shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water whose waters fail not. Now, she said Isaiah 44:3. Let's take a look. Bella mentioned that one. That's a little different. That's talking about pouring out the ruach. So I can see why you would say that. It's I will pour water upon him that is thirsty and floods upon the dry ground. I'll pour my ruach upon your seed and my blessing upon your offspring, and they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water's course. So that's the giving of the Spirit. Let me take a look at Songs of Solomon 4 real quick, like. See, let's come over here to Songs of Solomon 4. You could pick it up at verse 8 if you would. There's some other stuff in here, but I don't want to get off the beaten trail. So, come with me from Lebanon, spouse, with me from Lebanon. This is first Songs of Solomon 4:8. Look from the top of Amana, from the top of Shinar, Hermon, from the lion's den, from the mountains of leopards. You have ravished my heart. My sister, spouse, you have ravished my heart with one of your eyes, with one chain of your neck. How fair is your love, my sister, spouse? How much better is your love than wine? The smell of your ointments than all spices. What is you can ascertain from verse 10? Boot, Lee, Civic, Glory, Dory, Monte. Oh, you were waiting on that? What you were waiting? I hit you with the bottle. What do y'all ascertain from that? Oh, can't forget mom, but mom just be like, I just be waiting. She do, I just be waiting. What do y'all ascertain verse 10? You know, it's funny because Lisa and Muffin called me. They're like, was Sarah Abraham's sister? Yes, she was. Yes, she was. You knew that? You look like you're confused.
I know she's his wife, and he said, call me his sister.
No, he didn't say that was his sister. Oh, clearly you're not familiar. Yes, that was the daughter of his father, but not of his mother. Oh, you were unaware? Okay, and that was his sister.
But didn't it one also was like, because if I go in, like,
yeah, he said, we're not doing all that. That was his sister, literally.
I thought he was just saying.
No.
So I'm trying to sleep with you.
He did tell him that, but it wasn't a lie.
That's why I thought he lied. Honestly.
No, he didn't. That's what I'm telling you. Clearly, you overlooked that part. He said, this is the yes, this is my sister. He said, why did you lie to me and say this is my sister? He said, I didn't lie to you. That is my sister. Yes, you say she's my daughter of my father, but not of my mother. We've discussed that before, and you were present. Oh, Glory. I mean, Dora, you don't have to worry because you weren't present for that. You was there. Not for real. No, it's been some years.
Did somebody ask a question, or are we still waiting?
No, I'm waiting on somebody to tell me something.
Well, it may.
The question was, hey, y'all, how the hell you niggas pass class?
Oh, no, I was trying to answer in my perspective.
Go ahead, boo.
Yeah. I mean, it make me think about Israel. I'm not sure if that's accurate.
Well, let me show y'all the first part because we didn't talk about this before. Yasharal is technically Yahushua's sister and his spouse. That's why he keeps saying that there. That's his sister and his spouse, just like Abraham. You look confused. Was he not of the tribe of Yehuda? Would that not be his sister since he would be an Israelite? Is he not? Is not his bride? So that's his sister and his spouse at the same time. Did he not say, don't tell nobody who I am? They're going to kill me for my wife. See, you've forgotten these things. You've been smoking the marijuana. Oh, I know what it is. You've been drinking them wine coolers. Ain't no rumor. I'm saying it out loud. You denying it. Oh, you had one of them Mike Ice, didn't you? Spiked lemonade. That's exactly. You enjoyed those in your day, didn't you? I did. I get 4 of them. I don't even be drunk. I be feeling good. And I look at my husband. I'm gonna get you today.
Good like noise.
All jokes aside, right? So yes, when you see that, right? So when you see him, and that's why I stopped there to focus on that, because they were talking about this here, and I told them this here just so you could know this, right? Jacob was married to who? His cousin. Isaac was married to who? His cousin. That was common, and it's still common in the earth till this day for cousins to marry. I know some people, you marry your cousin? Well, your cousin is not considered to be immediate family. You know what your immediate family is? Mom, dad, wife, children. Even brother and sisters is not necessarily considered to be close family, depending on the situation. I'm talking about legally. I'm not talking about in this context. I'm talking about legally, depending on the situation and circumstance. Word-wise, yeah, brother and sister are considered to be close relative. But even a priest can't even defile himself for his own brother and sister. He can only defile himself for his parents or his wife or children. Because technically, your close family is your wife, your kids, and your parents. The reason why cousins can be able to breed with one another is for one reason and one reason alone. Because it's not shared DNA all the way through. You have outside DNA from another person who is not related to you to help create them, whether the male or the female. See, when you're dealing with brother and sisters, if it's 2 parents, that's the same DNA pool. That's where you get the birth defects and all the stuff people talking about, because that's shared DNA. See, that ain't supposed to happen. But when you got a cousin, you know what I'm talking about? If that's your uncle, you're not related to this other person. That's a different set of DNA. That's why they did. And main reason to keep stuff in the family. That's why they did it. And people who have money in other cultures still do it. They marry off cousins to cousins and don't nobody bat an eye or say a word. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, people over here, you mess with your cousin? Now, I'm not telling nobody go get your first or second cousin because, you know what I'm talking about? That's just not culturally how we live. But Yahuwah won't frown upon it. Because nowhere in the law do you see him telling you that you can't be with a cousin. That man say don't mess with your brothers and sisters. You know what I'm talking about? Uncles and auntie. And he made the caveat and came back later. He said, I don't care if it's your sister from your mama or your daddy. Don't do it. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, don't do that. But of course, the instance of Sarah being Abraham's sister and wife points you to this, which points you to Mashiach. And I just wanted to add that on because I didn't get a chance to tell them that earlier because we were dealing with somebody who was aggravating me and my crew because a couple of them was ready to cuss her out. And you know what I'm talking about? But I had a woman today actually said lock her in the back of the U-Haul so she could protect her television. I said, baby, I can't do that. When we got on the truck, she was like, you can drop it down. I said, but you gonna stay on the back? Yeah, it's gonna be okay. Oh, you gonna die.
No.
And we was only going 1.5 miles, but I ain't gonna lie to you. If I'd have been stupid enough to let her stay on the back of that truck and she would have died, I'd have pushed out and told them boys drive off. You know what I'm talking about?
You was driving?
No.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, I don't drive a 26 for you.
I was gonna say if he driving.
I drive any other U-Haul but that one. I don't drive the 26 for you.
I see you.
I think Derek said her and the TV was one. Baby was trying to protect that TV. Yeah, it was, but they had put like cushions in the box up against the TV, and then we had a mattress covering it because they didn't have a lot of stuff. So I'm like, stuff in that U-Haul moves. You know what I'm saying? If it depending on how you got it packed, and you didn't have a lot of stuff, and you mainly had chairs and one couch, so this stuff is gonna move. You know what I'm saying? But how the TV was weighty, you got the pillows on it, the mattress is over the top of it. It's good. She was finna ride in the back. I say, man. But what I'm telling you is that's an example of a covenant right there because you value that TV too much. Now I get it. I paid a lot of money for this, but you got too much of yourself invested in in an inanimate object. You willing to risk your well-being. Because see, if she would have died, she would have died from heat stroke. You know how hot it was out there? You ever been on the back of a U-Haul when the top is open? How hot it is in that truck? I know, I get in them holes every day. Now imagine if it's closed. I ain't riding the back of the U-Haul. But check it. Look at verse 10. Your love is better than wine. What did he drink? What did he tell you it was representative of? For the remission of sins. So your love is better than wine. Look what he said, your ointments than all spices. What ointment? It's the giving of his spirit. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Your lips, this is Songs of Solomon 4:11, by the way. Your lips, my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk under your tongue. The smell of your garment is like the smell of Lebanon. Y'all willing, we'll come back to that. A garden enclosed, my sister, spouse, spring up, shut up, a fountain sealed.
That made me think about that rhythm with the line, with the carcass.
Oh, you talking about the judges. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now notice how he say a fountain sealed. Guess what that is? That's that stone in front of that grave. Because remember, where was his sepulcher at? In a where? A garden, which no man had ever been laid. And where was Adam at? In a garden. And what did he say New Jerusalem would be like? The Garden of Eden. Let's continue. Your plants, an orchard of pomegranates with pleasant fruits, campfire and spikenard. Look up plants for me if you would, sir. Tell me what you see. Spicy, citrusy tobacco.
That's Selah.
Is who?
Selah.
Selah.
Weapon, missile, sprout.
Spout. So it's a different word than you see with etz. You know what etz is? Etz parade. A tree with fruit. You know what I'm saying? But notice how he said that plant gives with very pleasant fruits. Just keep that in mind. Let's look at verse 14. Spikenard, saffron. Saffron. I'm a lover of saffron. You know what saffron is?
They sell that in California. It's spicy.
Saffron is a spicy note in perfumery. I enjoy it a lot. It's in Baccarat Rouge 540. I know it. I mean, it's a spice in food, but I'm saying I enjoy it because it's a note in perfumery. Is that funny to you? You giggling about that?
It was how you said it.
ran out.
No, I
Yes. Perfumery. Yes, it's, you know what I'm saying? And it gives off the sweetness in perfumery. Now, I wouldn't tell y'all to go buy Baccarat Rouge 540. Sean said it's very expensive to cook with at shoes. It's very expensive in Baccarat Rouge 540, I can tell you that.
It was cheap in California. But it depends where you go.
And in oud for greatness. But it gives a sweet smell when you do it. I don't know what it does for food because I don't know if I've ever consumed it. Nevertheless. No. Verse 14, spikenard and saffron calamus, which these ignorant individuals call marijuana. Cinnamon, with all trees of frankincense, myrrh, aloes, with all the chief spices. A fountain of gardens, a well of living waters, and streams from Lebanon. Also, when we talk about living water, him striking the rock was symbolic of living waters coming later. But I come to Revelation 20, Isaiah 55, I believe. Isaiah 55. There we go. 55 and 1. That's what I wanted to, along with it. Ho, everyone that thirsts, come you to the waters. And he that have no money, come you buy and eat. Come buy wine and milk. Without money, without price. Notice what he said, come to the waters and drink. I only wanted that verse for that right there. Revelation 22. 22 and 17. You can make it 16. I, Yahshua, have sent my Malachim to testify unto you these things in the house, as I am the root and offspring of David, the bright morning star. And the Ruach and the bride said, come. Let him that hears say, come. Let him that is athirst come. Let him that whosoever will, let him take of the water of life freely. Now, it's also tell you the same thing in Revelation 21 and 6 about him that is athirst of the fountain of water freely. Y'all forgot about the living waters that's mentioned in Revelation chapter 20. In Revelation, living waters that you would drink from. These are the same living waters you see issuing from the throne in Zechariah. These are the same living waters that we're going to look at in Ezekiel 47 in a moment. But let's return back to Zechariah 14. We still got Deuteronomy 20 on hold. So look at 14 and 8. And it shall be in that day, living water shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them towards the former sea, half of them towards the hinder sea, and summer and winter it shall be, and Yahuwah shall be Malach over all the earth, and there shall be one Yahuwah in his name one. Notice the living waters don't go forth in Hamashiach's kingdom. They go forth in the kingdom of heaven. Now you have to pay attention because in this Zechariah 14, it goes in and out of Mashiach's kingdom and the kingdom of heaven. See, praise be to Yahuwah. See, now you have understanding to be able to decipher between the two. Let's look and see which one. As I read one, I ask you which kingdom is it. Verse 10, it shall be turned as the plain from Gibeah to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem. It shall be lifted up and inhabited in a place. From Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, from the tower of Hanil unto the king's wine presses. Verse 10, which kingdom is it? Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
I thought you said it was no leaf.
Well, I just told you that the verses, you got to pay attention. One verse can go to be talking about the kingdom of heaven, and one verse can be talking about the kingdom of Mashiach. He able to ascertain it because it said Benjamin's gate. So he know this is just how that, the verse before that and the verse before that, 8 and 9 tell you that. Yeah, see the wine press has already been pressed before the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? He's just talking about a particular location in the land. But when he mentions from Benjamin's gate, there are no gates in Hamashiach's kingdom. Remember, Isaiah 60 tell you that too. And see, remember, the gates are not for protection in the kingdom of heaven, because that's what gates were for. That's what walls were for. It was for protection. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for protection in the kingdom of heaven. So that's not what the gates are for. The gates are there for its splendor. You know what I'm saying? New Jerusalem will be known for its splendor. And you know the beauty of it? Only the saints, only those in Hamashiach will know that splendor. That boy all right? Verse 11, and shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. What kingdom is that? That's still talking about the kingdom of heaven. Now let's get to verse 12. This shall be the plague whereof Yahuwah will smite the people that fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. This is before the coming of kingdom of heaven. This is the destruction of Gog and Magog. And it shall come to pass in that day, a great tumult from Yahuwah shall be among them, and they shall lay hold on everyone his hand his neighbor, and on his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. Yahuwah shall also fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold, silver, and apparel in great abundance. That's Mashiach's kingdom. And so shall be the plague of the horse, the mule, the camel, the ass, all the beasts that shall be in these tents is this plague. It shall come to pass that everyone that is left of the nations which came against Jerusalem shall go up from year to year to worship the Malach, Yahuwah of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahuwah of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. Well, there'll be no sun and no moon there, because Yahuwah, Elohim, and the Lamb are the light of it. So if there's no sun and no moon, then there can be no clouds, because with that there will be no rain, because it's a new heaven and new earth. And that heaven don't produce no rain, because there'll be no waters in the firmament to produce it. Therefore, this is referring to Mashiach's kingdom, so on and so forth. Let's go back to Ezekiel 47, because we're getting late. We was late getting here. I ain't get here till 8:30. 47. So I had to wait. My doggone barber, he would get blowed, so I had to wait for him to finish smoking his reefer before he came and taped me up. And then then Mondisha Marie got held up by the game day traffic. Like I said, it only took, you see, that's all I was getting anyway. It ain't take that long, but we had a lot of dead time just to get that. It don't even take that long for me to get a tape up. But thank the Lord, it got done nonetheless. And then I had to bathe. You know, some niggas be coming to preach the word. They nuts, these things. Underarms musty, clothes dirty.
They don't come clean.
Shoot, I done seen a couple niggas, boy. I be like, boy, I don't know a car, babe, boy. I ain't even being funny. Like, boy, that nigga look dingy. Real. You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen a nigga who look dingy? I ain't talking about just his clothes. I'm talking about his whole aura. I ain't never want to be one of them niggas. You be like, that nigga look dingy. You know, because if that's the first thing you look like, you don't wash yourself. You dirty. I'm telling you, every man here, make sure you wash yourself thoroughly. You don't need to be walking around here funky and stank. Man, you should never do it. But once you get past 25, you definitely shouldn't do it. Once you done have some offspring, nigga, you don't never need to be smelling like outside and air. You know what I'm talking about? Like, straight them down, don't make no sense, man. You ain't got to spend a lot of money. Get you one, nigga. For real, grown man talking about, I ain't smell. You ain't got on nothing, just deodorant and soap. Nigga, you stink. You know what I'm talking about? For real, nigga walk past you smelling doggone outside. You know what I'm saying? Nigga don't know the fragrance kill the outside smell. Because they ain't gonna smell the outside. They gonna smell what you wearing. Nigga going outside, nigga come back in here, nigga face just frown up. This nigga stank. Y'all know I ain't lying though. Like, you got some perfume? What you got? Little what? Little Chanel. We don't care about Marc Jacobs, nigga. That's junk cheap.
It just smells really good.
No, that's not a bad thing. Chanel don't discount theirs though.
Nope, never.
No, you ain't gonna get no Chanel on no discount. That boy say Old Spice, you know the vibe. Boy, I literally trashed out of house. Boy, nigga had about 3-4 bottles of Old Spice up there. But I'm talking about he had a drop top belly, so I understand. That was a big man. And if you'd have seen how he defecated on that toilet, you would have wanted to beat him up. And they wanted us to clean it. I told them, nigga, boy, I clean that toilet, boy, I need $500 for the toilet. Not for the house, for the toilet. Man, my man say though, all those time, my man say, I know I was serious about that. I told him I need $500. You was over there to the house. You went and you seen that toilet. Or you ain't going there. You know what I'm talking about? But let me tell you something, right? Man, that man said them people came in that house at 8 o'clock at night to clean it and didn't leave till like maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. That's how filthy that house. Yeah. That's how people be living out here on these streets. Ezekiel 47, well, I'm telling you, till you start, well, you know, because you clean people's houses. Boy, it's some nasty people in the earth. Boy, till you start actually having to go on people's houses and do labor, you have no idea how filthy and vile some people live.
We did a walkthrough, and she had like feces on the toilet, like literally sitting on top of the toilet. And I like paused and I looked at the toilet and I'm like, you know, you got feces on the toilet. And she was like, I do. And I was like,
Oh, you knew you had that on that toilet.
I was like, I'm not touching that. And she was like, oh, you know what? You can just clean everything but the toilet.
I know it.
Because that's what I was
on the toilet, like the toilet open.
The toilet seat.
On the seat.
Poop on the toilet.
That's what that nigga had at that house I'm talking about.
How do you miss? It's a big hole.
And she wasn't like big.
Backsplash.
She was just overweight, but it wasn't. There's
There don't be no backsplash. It's just a nigga go back there and just pop and go. That's how you don't nigga didn't wipe or nothing. You know what I'm talking about?
That's what I'm talking
All right, play with it. Ezekiel, it ain't about the hole. You understand?
So like maybe it's coming out before they sit on the toilet.
No, it's a nigga just bop and it go where it go.
What is Bob?
I'm releasing my bowels.
Before you sit on the toilet.
Whether I sat on it, I could have been edged up on the seat, don't make no difference. I could have squatted over it, hovered over it. I don't care. I'm nasty. Trying to tell you. Trust me, I know. I've cleaned women's restrooms before. Y'all living foul. Had a nerve to talk about a man ain't gonna clean it like I'm gonna clean it. You don't clean your coochie properly. They got mad at Nick Cannon for that because he say most women don't vagina properly. You know what I'm saying? But guess what though? I done heard some women say that. Shoot, you know how to wipe right. They're gonna teach this little girl. You better make sure you teach your daughters how to clean themselves. Because guess what? One day they'll clean themselves. They're gonna run in their husband. They're gonna be like, girl, your coochie stink. Now she's shamed and embarrassed. It's gonna be your fault, nigga.
Niggas in the classroom talking about, yeah, sit down, it'll stink. Like, all right.
Sit down, L smell bad. All jokes aside, man. Y'all niggas wash y'all body, man. Wash your clothes. Clean for the Lord, man. Clean yourself.
So you in the classroom, it was in middle school. A girl sitting in front of you at a desk, and you sit down, you smell all of that.
Oh, you ain't known that? It happens. Shoot, you got niggas, you smell musty air, clothes, air, niggas smell all that junk. Nigga, this nigga stank. She told my feet be the word. No, your breath is the word. Not for real. Ezekiel 47:1. After he brought me again into the door of the house, behold, waters issued from under the threshold of the house eastward. Do you see how these correlate? Very well then. The waters came from under the right side of the house at the south of the altar. Then he brought me out of the way of the gate northward and led me about the way unto the other gate, by the way that looked eastward. And behold, there ran out waters on the right side. And when the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits. He brought me through the waters were to the ankles. And again he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters to the knees. Again he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters to the loins. Afterwards he measured 1,000 and a river that I could not pass over, for the waters were risen, waters to swim in, a river that could not be passed over. He said unto me, son of Adam, have you seen? Then he brought me and caused me to return to the brink of the river. Now, when I returned, behold, at the bank of the river, very many trees on the one side and on the other. Remember what I told you in the Garden of Eden? It was a lot of trees out there as it described, right? He only mentioned 2 by name. Then he said I'm sorry, I skipped over one. No, I didn't. Then he said unto me, these waters issue towards the east country and go down into the desert and go into the sea. Brought forth into the sea, the water shall be healed. Remember, right? Why would the waters need to be healed? Because remember, wormwood came in the waters and made all the waters bitter in the book of Revelation. Also, the seas dried up in the book of Revelation. Also, if you remember, there's some various verses in the book of Isaiah and other places that he said that he would cause waters to come into the desert because of the drought. Let's continue. And these are what? Living. This ain't regular water. You understand? These are living waters that issue from the house. Who is the house? Yahusha is the house. Yahuwah is the house. The waters is issuing from Elohim. Because guess what? Regular water can't heal nobody. Let me show you what healed me. Because regular water can't heal nobody. You ever had some water that heals somebody? You let these people tell it Dr. Savage stuff heal everybody. Nigga, everybody gonna die. They killed Dr. Savage. Guess what? Dr. Savage was gonna die regardless. I don't care how vegan you is. I don't care how alkaline your body is. When you who would say, nigga, you die, nigga, you die. And guess what? You can be alkaline to the T. I put a bullet in your head. I bet you go. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's to point out to the point that it doesn't matter. When it's time to go, it's time to go. Of course, you should know that heal was Rapha, to heal, to make healthy. To make healthy. It also can mean personal distress, but we don't think that's the context there. Are you in distress? I hope not, because that would be unfortunate. Verse 9, and it shall come to pass, everything that live which move, wheresoever the river shall come, shall live. You seen when he told you, take, drink of the water, come ye and live. Let's continue. And there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because the water shall come hither, for they shall be healed. Everything shall live, whether the river come. Remember what it said about all the fish in the waters in the book of Revelation. What happened to them? They died because of the wormwood. And it shall come to pass, fishes shall stand upon it from Engedi to Igalim, and there shall be to spread forth their nets. Their fish shall be according to their kinds, as the fish of the great sea, exceeding many. But the miry places thereof and the marshes thereof shall not be healed. They shall be given to salt. What is it important about salt? Why are they going to be given to salt? What is this pointing to? What is this telling us? Let me tell you what a miry place is, if you would like to know. Of course, this is Bitsah, that is a swamp. Marshes, that is Gabe, that is a cistern or a pool, a pit. They're not going to get Rapha. They're not going to be healed. They shall be given to Malay, which is salt, meaning easily pulverized and dissolved. What is this meaning? They go into hell. Let's continue. And by the river upon the bank thereof, on the side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, and the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine. Remember what he told you about the trees in the garden? They were all for what? For food. Now let's look at what it says for meat. What is that? We talked about this the other day. Mahakal, food, fruit, meat, victuals. This is for food. This is where the dumbest come in. See, this is for the healing of the nations. Dudes really try to say this was reefer. Dudes really, this ain't talking about no herbs you could pluck out no garden, boy. This is a tree that a man can't plant. Notice that it said its fruit was for the healing of the nations. Ain't that what it said? What its fruit would be for meat, and its leaf thereof for medicine. Let's look at leaf and medicine. So, of course, you got leaf. Well, let's deal with medicine first. It's terapha. Same definition. Mainly here, a remedy. Well, what would you need the leaf for a remedy? What is the leaf? Well, leaf is Allah, it's leafage. Branch. Nah, notice what it said, right? The branch is for medicine. What you know about the branch? Zechariah, Jeremiah, Isaiah. We'll deal with that, y'all willing, tomorrow. All of those things. That branch is for medicine. Now, see, hold on, because we got to still talk. We don't want to just neglect Deuteronomy 20. So just stay in Ezekiel 47 while I go back over here to Deuteronomy 20.
I just thought about something so late. Thought about Lot's wife. When she looked back, she became a pillar of salt.
She was pulverized, dissolved, removed. Notice what it said, only the trees which you know that be not trees for me, destroy them and cut them down. You shall build bulwarks against that city that make war with you till it be subdued. So notice, right? We talked about this a little bit. Only the trees that don't be for me. What tree in the garden did Yahuwah say was not for me? He said that tree's not for food. He said that tree, you're going to cut it down. Well, why are you cutting it down? See, he's saying you cutting the law down. He's saying we ain't supposed to keep it. No, you fool, because we're dealing with the Garden of Eden. Guess what is not in the garden? What was not supposed to be there? Death. Guess what we just already looked at in New Jerusalem? Guess what won't there? Death. That's why this tree is not to be eaten. So we're just going to go ahead and cut it down. Because there'll be no need of, we're going to build bulwarks against the city that make war with you until it be subdued. Well, we don't have to do that anymore. No one's making war with you, because what did he tell you? Take your swords and beat them into plowshares. Let them, they're not going to learn war anymore. We already read that verse. There'll be no more destruction in that particular place. But when we go back to 19, right? He said, don't force the axe against them, for you may eat of them, and you shall not cut them down. The tree of the field is for Adam. Who is the tree of life for? He told you in the law the tree of life was for Adam. Adam just declined. But guess what? The second Adam, who is the tree of life for? And then what is the fruit that comes forth from this tree? That is, he say the fruit thereof, neither say the leaf will not fade. Now, he told you that in Jeremiah 17. Blessed is he that trusteth in Yahuwah. Let's go take a look. 17:7. I'll be there in a second. When you look at consumed, right, it is tamam. It is to be complete, to be finished, and at an end, to finish, to cease off. So when you got consumed here, it don't mean to eat. It tells you, when it says ultra boom boom, the fruit thereof is complete. That's what it means. You see what I mentioned why you should look, because when you look at consume, you think it either eat or destroy. And it says the fruit thereof, it said neither the fruit thereof shall be consumed. It says shall not fade. And I think that neither ain't there also. Make sure. Man, these people be on there. No, I don't want no virtual assistant. Dog back looking, boy. Man, them niggas overseas be trying. When you have neither, you have low. So not no, not nothing before. So the fruit will not be complete before the time. It's going to bring forth new fruit according to his months. New fruit. Right over. I've been looking at it 16 times. It's Bakar. And you know what that is? What you think Bakar is? When they say new fruit, I want you to look at Bakar. I want y'all in the chat. I want y'all in Clubhouse. Look up Bakar for new fruit. Tell me what it say. I need y'all to put that in the chat for me, please. I need you to comment on Clubhouse for me, please. When you look up Bakar, put it on there, because I want other people to see it before I say it out loud. You look like you're struggling over that, Glory. What you got, Dory? What y'all got on here, chat people? You sleep, you slobbing? Go ahead and take your rest. Dang, I ain't get to get adjusted Thursday. That sucked. I was late. And they were gone. Yeah, I mean, I don't be having that. Look, I can drop off the pull-up bar and don't feel no pain when my feet hit the ground.
Oh, you look like an English word?
No, look up the word in there.
I did. I see. Oh, you want the Hebrew word?
Yeah, what you looking up an English word for?
What was this French? I see the Hebrew word.
You've been smoking a marijuana.
Crack.
You've been smoking a marijuana and drinking some doggone hard seltzer. Sean got it. I guess ain't nobody else want to participate. They sleep. Yeah, it's all glory for her too. And Dory. She told me, why me? But yes, Bakar means to be born first, to bear early, new fruit, to give right of the firstborn, to make as the firstborn, to constitute as firstborn, to be born a firstling, to be made a firstling, one bearing first child, to burst of the womb, to bear or make early fruit, a woman or a tree, to give a birthright, first child, new fruit. Why is all that important? What did we read in 1 Corinthians 15 and 22? Hamashiach, the first fruits, and them after his coming. So when you look at this tree that's bearing this fruit in time, it's not only that, it's bearing fruit that will make one a firstborn, to give right to a firstborn. Why is that important? Because we're talking about fruits of the spirit. People talk about it all the time, but those were the fruits. See, again, they got knowledge of good and evil when they could have ate the fruits of the tree of life and got joy and got love and got peace and got long suffering and got gentleness and got goodness. We got temperance and got, I think I mentioned peace. I don't want to make sure I'm leaving nothing out. Against such there is no law, meaning they wouldn't have died. See, this is what individuals don't realize when they talk about, oh, they were made to live forever. That's how I know you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? And let me not say stupid. Some brothers are stupid, meaning you know the truth and you reject it to continue to walk in your folly. A lot of people are ignorant. You know why a lot of people are ignorant? Because we were all told that Adam and Eve was made to live forever, because if they weren't made to live forever, then why would they have died when they ate from that tree? So clearly they were made to live forever when they were not. How do we know they were made to live forever? Because they were dust and ashes. Dust and ashes is not eternal components. I read something yesterday, it might have been today, that they say when you breathe in and out, that you're actually saying the name of Yahuwah. Say the inhale is the yod and the exhale is the hay. I can't verify that, but I definitely read that.
You can hear or something?
Yeah, they say you can hear and you would be saying the yod hay. And they say we like to add vowels because they didn't say, you know, a lot of people don't say Yahuwah, they say Yahweh. So they were saying we like to add the vowels, but you hear the yod hay. You're listening for it. Your husband said, I'm he said he can inform you now. I can't tell you, I hadn't tested that out, so I don't know if that's accurate. Because they were saying basically when a baby is born, they're saying the name of Yahuwah. And when you die, you're saying the name of Yahuwah on your way out the door. Me, Darius say his cousin showed him that a few years ago. Me knowing Yahuwah, I wouldn't be shocked that would be accurate. Because one way or another, he gonna get a steam on your way in, and he gonna get a steam on your way out. You feel what I'm talking about? That's how I look at that. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna bring a steam to him on in both directions. You know what I'm talking about? But hey, you know, try it out for yourself. Lord, like, I can't wait to get home. I'm gonna do it as soon as I get in the car. I'm gonna take a short one, then a long one. Me and you, I'm gonna try them all. That's how you looking too. I'm gonna try them all. I'm gonna find out. I find out it's true. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Every time I breathe, I'm gonna pray God. Oh man, where was I at? So when you look at that, right? That's what they. Because remember, right? They ate from the tree of life, a tree of knowledge of good and evil, and they died because now they have knowledge of sin. Now they know that they've committed sin. But again, these fruits, they have the right to the firstborn. What does that? You have a right to an inheritance, and that inheritance is he that overcome or get victory, he shall be my son, and I will be his Elohim, and he shall inherit all things. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what it looks like. What does a firstborn son get? An inheritance of all things. Well, where is that inheritance even going to be rooted from? From belief in the promise and then obedience to said promise because of respect of the reward. This is how this tree is able to give you this fruit that is complete. You know what I'm talking about? See, we got to understand something. When you begin to manifest the fruits of the Spirit, that means you are complete. See, let me read something to you in 2 Peter chapter 1 in that regard, which we've dealt with this verse before, which can lay the framework, and maybe we'll discuss it. And I'm going to get this one thing here for Bella before we get out of here. 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 3. According as his divine power have given unto us all things unto life. You see that? See, the tree of life is representative of divine power. Remember what it says, the tree is for man. The tree of life is not for Yahuwah. It's for man. Remember when he put it in the garden, who did he put it in there for? For Adam. So everyone who's born of the second Adam, the tree is for man. Because that's all Adam mean is man. So the tree is not for Elohim, it's for man. You see how that goes back to what we were talking about? The Sabbath is not for Yahuwah, the Sabbath is for man. You know what I'm talking about? And that's the point of what we're talking about. Like the woman is for the man. The man is not for the woman. So when you understand that, you're not going to operate in a different fashion in order to please somebody that's going to have you out of order, which means you're going to be in confusion because you're going to have disorder. That's why our communities are in disorder now, because people are operating outside the proper order. We already know you're supposed to dwell with your wife according to knowledge. You're supposed to love your wife as Mashiach loved his, but you loving somebody does not mean that you operate out of order. If you have to operate out of order, that's not love. You know what I'm talking about? That is some type of infatuation, some type of lust, some type of codependency, some type of what's the word I'm looking for? It's in my brain, but it's not coming to my lips at this moment. Some type of psychosis, some type of neurotic psychosis is what that is. You know what I'm talking about? Something wrong with you because you don't want to operate how you're supposed to operate. You know what I'm talking about? And that's a choice to not choose to operate how you're supposed to operate. The woman, like I said, the woman's supposed to respect. See, this is the thing, right? Dudes always talking about women can teach their post-Titus. That's out of context. But that's what older women are for. That older woman's supposed to teach the younger woman, baby, you need to love your husband. This is how you do it. You need to love your turn. You know how many women out here don't love their turn? You know what I'm talking about? Like, really don't love it. Look at, man, I'm talking about word or not. It's a lot of women who don't want to be mothers. And now some of them are saying it out loud. And people, I can't believe you said that. And I'm like, it took, nigga, I knew hoes ain't want to be mothers in the 90s. I'm watching how they behave. And this woman she's like, is it right? She might love her children, but she don't want to be a mother. You know why? Because it's work. And a lot of women are lazy. You know what I'm talking about? It's work to be a mother. That's why they want the man to do the work, and the man then come home and do her job too. You know what I'm talking about? And then they feel like, well, he's not a good man because he ain't doing my and his job. Now, see, it's different if she get up and go to work every day. You can't expect her to do that type of nurturing and mothering that a woman who don't have to go to work does. You know what I'm talking about? It's different. When I say have to, meaning that she has to go in order for the family to survive, which of course in these days and times, look, I think I heard a dude say this here the other day. He says 78% of Americans are not on Twitter. But see, I already know this. You know, a lot of stuff that people be going back and forth about and the things they say, that's internet talk. Because when you cut off the internet, people in real life don't talk like this. The stuff that niggas be arguing about on the internet, man, I have to tell my homegirl that all the time. Girl, that's internet talk. Get off your damn phone and go talk to people. And you're going to find out ain't nobody living like this. All this talk about, I shouldn't have to work and help the pigs here. That's not real life. Majority of people out here don't talk like that. And they woman size them any kind of way because she got to go to work. That's not real life. You know what I'm saying? That's not real life. That's niggas on the internet. You know what I'm talking about? Like, people ain't, oh, I take trips and do this here. Most niggas get up and go to work and don't never go nowhere. Not because they don't want to, because they can. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what? You sit back and you look at all people, and it seems like everybody traveling and going somewhere. Man, look here, man. That woman had to do some unseemly things in order to do that. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga who you see sliding on that trip, it's another nigga paid for him. You know what I'm talking about? For him to go, this nigga went out of town or out of the country broke. You know how often that happens? Niggas is sneaking in the clubs, flogging with another nigga bottles. But I'm talking about the internet stuff that people be arguing about. That's not real life. Meaning, people may have Facebook pages, Instagram pages, but most people are not posting and active. Just the same way you see why most people feel like, oh, all bros do is argue on the internet, this, that. Most people who in the word don't do that. You know why? Because they got a life to live. I don't have time to be on here doing this.
She was saying how, like, in our group, just the women don't, a lot of women don't work most of the time. She was like, I don't think you understand because you don't really deal with people that much outside the word. Most women at your age they can't afford to work, right? Their husband don't take care of them. Most women 30, 40 full time.
But see, this is the thing. But look how she's doing it. It's not that their husbands don't take care of them. It's that they may not bring in enough resources to where she can stay home. But notice how the verbiage, oh, he don't take care of her. How the hell you know? Because so she equates a woman going to work as the man not taking care of her. See, I was telling tried them there earlier, man. Niggas in America are jackasses and stupid because you have let these people deceive you and pit you against one another. I'm talking about male and female with idiotic points of life that the mass majority of people don't live, and you fell for it. And you fell for it because they don't even realize that type of division is of Satan. What did he tell you? A house divided cannot stand. And you got people divided again, and you fell for it because you're trying to live a lifestyle that only 10 to 15% of the American population actually lives. You know what I'm talking about? Most people don't live like this. But, you know, let me read this here, what Darius got on here. He said, that's what the Muslim brother was asking, what religion honors the woman, and tried to use a verse out of the law with them mixing the water. If a man was jealous of his wife, that was an unjust judgment. Oh, you talking about numbers. Man, people are stupid. What religion upholds a woman? Yahuwah don't. For what? He don't uphold a man. You know what I'm talking about? He just has an order. And that's it. It's not like he puts a man up here on a pedestal and puts the woman down here. No, I set the man here. I set the woman here. Execute as such. That's it. This is my order. There won't be confusion. You know what I'm talking about? See, individuals looking at it, the man's up here, the woman's down here, or vice versa. That's why you have confusion. And those are narcissistic tendencies and leanings because you want some level of extreme praise and self-importance about yourself when it's about Yahuwah. Because at the end of the day, if the man's up here, guess what that means? To whom much is given, much is required. So that's what people ain't looking at. Yeah, you up here, but I require more from you than I require of her. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Yahuwah ain't stepping to no woman about what's going on. He gonna holler at the men. Because he say the pasture, the sheep of my flock are men. So he coming to holler at you. What you got going on? You ain't never seen Yahuwah when he came down to talk to people, gather up a whole bunch of women and talk to them. He went and got the men. When he told them to start slaying, who he said in Ezekiel, who he said to start with? Start with the aged men. Start with them. Kill them first. You know what I'm saying? But see, a lot of brothers don't want to do that. If you want the responsibility and burden of leadership, you got to take everything that come along with it. That's what I mean by, as a woman, what man can come talk to you about that? You don't know what it's like to have the burden of leadership. You don't know what that responsibility is like. I can't talk to you about that. There's nothing that you can tell me. And that's no disrespect. It's not a bad thing. It's not a wrong thing. It's just life. You know what I'm talking about? And then, of course, if a man is any type of man, the same way that Yahuwah did it, you want to try to shield your wife from as much stress and problems as possible, even if you have to carry those. See, he should be able to talk to him. No, I can't. You can't tell me, oh, a woman can bring her femininity and comfort and less stress and then want men to bring that to you. That's oxymoronic. That's stupid. So that means that's not what you actually want. You're just talking. See, if you're a man, you know better. Man, at the end of the day, when it comes to most stuff that women say they won't, just do the opposite. Because whatever she says she wants the opposite. That's not what she wants. It will placate ego. And you know why that's the case? Because everything that man said they wanted from Yahuwah did the opposite because they found out everything was to placate them. They said they wanted the king, right? So guess what? Instead of Yahuwah being their king, he said, you know what? Give it to them. Give them what they want. See, Yahuwah different. If you want something that's contrary to him, he gonna give it to you. But you know what he gonna give it to you? So he can see what your end gonna be. So when that blow up in your face, he can look you dead in your face and say, you stupid. You know that, right? Because I told you this was gonna happen before you did that, and look at your stupid behind. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's one thing that men don't want to do. Not the garden, but the people is in the position they in because of you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no woman lead the people. Was that a woman leading the people worshiping the Baal Peor and all that? That was men. Who came up there and asked them to make a golden calf? That wasn't no women. That was men. You know what I'm talking about? That's who went and did that. Who was around there knocking on doors in the book of Judges asking for a man's butt? Men. You know what I'm talking about? Who was doing all that? Who was neighing after their neighbor's wife? Men. He said 2 men went into a maid to defile and profane my name. That was men. But see, we don't want to talk about that. We don't never want to talk about that. Because that means you have to hold your, like I'm never going to be like, oh, what the women, I don't give a damn what a woman doing. What that got to do with me? If she don't want to get in line, you know what you do with her, Doris? You leave her. If this person say they don't want to get in the car, what do? You leave them behind. You don't beg them to come get in the car. Okay, you don't want to participate. Cool. We just go with people who will. That's the mind you got to have when you come to serve. Stop begging people to serve God and just focus on people who will. Nevertheless, Second Peter chapter 1, verse 3. According as his divine power has given unto us all things unto life and godliness, through the knowledge of him that have called us to esteem and virtue, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that you might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped corruption that is in the world through lust. And besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, to knowledge temperance, to temperance patience, and hope make not ashamed, and to patience faithfulness, and faithfulness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness love. And if these things be in you and abound, they make that you will neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. But he that lacked these things is blind and cannot see far off, and have forgotten that he was purged from his old sins. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. Now, we might have to come back and revisit those matters. Because remember, you got one tree that's for life and one tree that's for meat. And you have to understand that tree that was not for meat cannot instruct you on those matters. Because look at some of the things that you've seen that pertain to the fruits of the spirit. You've seen temperance there. You've seen patience there. You've seen love there. All of these things. And he said that you won't be barren or unfruitful. Because these are things that you need to add to yourself to be able to produce those fruits of the spirit, because that comes from the seed. That's why one of the first things he said, add to your faith virtue. And after virtue, knowledge. Look up virtue in Greek for me, man, real quick, like, if you would, sir.
It is a virtuous course of thought, feeling, and action.
So notice what it is here? A virtuous course of thought and action. So when he added in virtue, guess what he's telling you to do? Get a ready mind and a willing heart. That's what it means, really. That's what he's telling you. Once you get faith, he say, once you believed, give yourself a ready heart and a willing mind, and then get the knowledge of God, because the knowledge of my righteous servant will justify many. And after you've done that, then add yourself self-control. And then when you have self-control, then be faithful to wait on Elohim. And once you've been faithful to wait on Elohim, then be faithful. And after being faithful, then be kind. And then after being kind, how about you have some love? And when you do that, you won't die. Notice he said you'll never fall. So there's going to be no death involved. You know why? Because against such there is no law. And see, I'm just showing you the difference between, because I know we talked about that in that Romans 7 about the war on the inside. But remember, he said he'll give right to the tree of life who overcomes or obtains the victory. Well, who is the victory? But he that is born of Elohim. And how are you born of Elohim? But if you believe that Yahushua HaMashiach were born of Elohim, this is our victory. This is the faith. That's why he say, be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. He's telling you, I've already obtained the victory. Victory has already been acquired. That's why who can deliver me from the body of this death? Somebody had to obtain a victory. Somebody had to Nephtali, which means to be victorious or to overcome. Come take a look, because you look confused, Doris. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Oh, because you weren't present for that, and that's okay. And when I say not present for that, shoot, no one in this room was present for that. My mother wasn't even there. When we took the time to go through the, Lee was. I'm sorry, I neglected Lee. That's my apology. Lee, you were there, weren't you? When we went through all the names of all the sons of Israel and what they mean, Lee was there. It was long. Genesis 29. Lee said, I don't know. Lee don't know nothing about nothing. When it comes to years ago, she just knows about today. 30 and 8, Genesis, if you would. You can make it 30 and 7. I understand. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember too much of nothing either. I don't even remember high school. I barely remember my childhood. You remember high school? I bet you do. You ain't but 23.
20.
That nigga laughed. That nigga said, nigga, I'm 33. Roll your eyes again, nigga. You ain't gonna have no eyes.
I don't do it on purpose.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
That's what
It's
you
just a habit.
You see that Civic? Better go ahead, get ready, hit it with that mallet, get her eyes straight. Rubber one, don't get no real one. 30 and 7 though. Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare a second son. Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. She called his name Naphtali. You see that? I have prevailed with great wrestlings. Look up wrestlings and prevailed for the people, if you would. Let me get this joint for Bella. 2 Kings 13.
It's just wrestling.
And guess what we were looking at, right? The city be besieged. What were we reading in Romans 7? That he was wrestling with his flesh. You're going to have great wrestlings. You know what that wrestlings also refers us to? When Jacob wrestled the angel. And guess what he did? He overcame him and he said, bless me. You know what I'm saying? What is these wrestlings? That there be something that has to be overcome in order for you to have victory. Give him prevailed, if you would, sir.
Yaakov is to prevail, to overcome.
To prevail or to overcome. If you prevail, guess what that means? Victory. You've won. So with great wrestlings, I have prevailed. She said, I've gotten victory over my sister. Because, of course, they were wrestling back and forth for the affection of Jacob. You know what I'm saying? And you're wrestling with your flesh for the affection of Yahuwah. That's what you're fighting for. That's what you're trying to win for. So that that fruit that is complete can be for your healing. Because that leaf ain't going to fade. I know Jeremiah 17, but y'all willing, we'll deal with it tomorrow. But in the 2 Kings 13, this was dealing with the death of Elisha. And this is when he had those arrows and he told the dude to smite him. And he wouldn't smite him. But the main part of it is in that 21 when he got put in the grave. And then a band of Moabites invaded the land and they were burying a man. And they cast his body in the sepulcher. And as soon as he touched the bones of Elisha, he lived again. You know what I'm saying? And what does that take us to? Flesh and bone don't have, a spirit don't have flesh and bones as you see have. Because what did David say? You flesh of my flesh and bone of bone. So when you go into the grave and become one with his bones, then you have life so that you can have right to that same very tree. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not to say that the law is not good, but that was not a tree for meat. That was not a tree from the jump set that was to be consumed. He didn't want you to consume that. He said there's trees in the field that are for man. We know that from the law. He told us which trees were for man. The tree of life and whatever other trees were there that were not named. But he said the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he said, don't touch that. That was not trees for me. You know what I'm talking about? And notice we say, you know what a lot of brothers do? They cut faith down. They cut the tree of life down. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you're superimposing this man on the, they showing you they are Adam and that they're going to perish and go to hell. Not because of their keeping of the law, but because they don't believe. Because he's add to your faith what? A mind, a ready heart, and a willing mind. And after that, get the knowledge of the Son of God, and then you can be saved. But we'll say hallelujah for Yahusha and the word at the moment, because it's midnight. I appreciate y'all time this evening. I bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahusha. You who are willing, we're going to keep on rocking and rolling on what we're talking about on having right to the tree of life. You know, it's not just about, oh, let's just talk about the tree of life. It's everything that goes around that and it pertains to it. It's a lot of things that pertain to it. Prayerfully, you got the information needed to get some understanding. Prayerfully, you understood the point of how he'll be one and his name one. Because that was important to the point where we discussing to even get you to the tree of life. Oh, you found that? I didn't find that humor. I saw what happened. It didn't move me.
It wasn't supposed to be. I really almost fell.
You drunk?
No, I'm like, I'm weak.
You know, but I appreciate y'all time this evening. Bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. You who are willing to the next one. I'm weak. I'm just tired. I don't even know what to do.
I'm glad you didn't laugh at me. I really was like, boy,